Your maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-682-3311. That's 800-682-3311. 800-682-3311.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
We are on location live from Pingree Grove, Goebert's farm. Filling out, absolutely excited about it, but we're going to do the show as normal. And that's why I'm going to take on the idea that these moron propagandists who are assets for the government and the government alone are reporting a settlement as if it wasn't made by the government. The government settled the IRS lawsuit. And we'll talk about more of that extortion mafia full of pansies called the IRS after news with Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. Mostly cloudy on AM 560, The Answer. In our QC Kinetics newsroom, I'm Mike Scott. President Trump says an attack on Iran would have been happening right now had he not put it on hold, telling reporters he was about an hour away from making a decision when he got a call from Middle Eastern leaders saying they think a deal could be close.
The ships are all loaded. They're loaded to the brim, and we're all set to start.
Trump saying leaders asked for a couple of days. 6 states are holding primary elections today for the U.S. House, Senate, and governor's races. A 17-year-old has died after being pulled from 54-degree Lake Michigan water off Waukegan Monday evening. Waukegan Fire confirming they responded to a report of a drowning on the lakefront in the Harbor Channel area, and an investigation is underway after a 13-year-old boy was shot in Joliet. Police say the teen was found yesterday with a gunshot wound inside of a home in the 400 block of Market. No arrests have been made. Sox and Mariners tonight while the Cubs host Milwaukee. The news is a service of the AM 560 store. T-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands, including Proft University and The Shaun Thompson Show. Go to 560theanswer.com/store. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages falling, led by tech, as soaring bond yields and inflation worries weigh on investors. 10-year Treasury yield spiked to a 16-month high, while 30-year Treasury yield spiked to a 19-year high. Oil prices still remain elevated, with West Texas Intermediate crude at around $104 a barrel. Tech was the worst performing sector. Software stocks and chip makers also lost ground, and the Magnificent 7 big cap tech stocks were mostly lower. NVIDIA shares were down nearly 1%. The AI darling reports earnings after the closing bell on Wednesday. NVIDIA's results will test the AI demand story. The Dow winners, Amgen, Chevron, and Merck. The Dow decliners, Goldman Sachs, Boeing, and Amazon. The Dow down 322 points. The Nasdaq lower by 220. S&P 500 down 49. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Mike Gallagher shares a scary stat.
74% of Americans, including 91% of Republicans and 70% of independents, say the U.S. is winning against Iran. Do you want to know what percentage of Democrats side with Iran? 40%. Nearly half of Democrats are cheering for Iran. Let that sink in.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Perhaps you're a collector. Or perhaps, all of a sudden, you have a collection. Maybe it's an inheritance. How do you know what it's worth? This is Shaun Thompson for Donley Auction. The market for antiques and collectibles is changing all the time. What is your collection worth right now? Well, I've got an easy way to find out. It's simple. You contact Donley Auctions. With their worldwide audience of live and in-person auctions, they have a good idea of how to tell you exactly what it's worth at exactly right now. They're ready
to put top dollar in your pocket. The bigger the collection, the better. Go to DonleyAuctions.com and get the info on all things that they buy and sell to have an idea of exactly what Donley does and how much they need your collection. They have so many buyers. It's a great time to sell. Just simply make a phone call. Donley has traveled all over the country to pick up collections. Just call and talk to the people at Donley Auctions at 815-923-7000. Donley Auctions is your trusted partner in turning your collections into cash. DonleyAuctions.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Born on America's darkest day, 9/11/01, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been helping American heroes ever since. Heroes like FDNY Lieutenant Edward J. McDonough Jr. McDonough served at Ground Zero. He later lost his life to a related cancer. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation was able to honor his sacrifice by paying off the family's mortgage. Donate $11 a month, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the outbound Edens, no reported delays. The Kennedy, 50 minutes. Downtown to O'Hare. Eisenhower up to an hour and 10. Post Office to 390. On the Stevenson, that's an hour and 10 out to 355 from DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Outbound Ryan, 30 minutes. Slowing down on the Bishop Ford going out as well, 115th all the way down to 159th. That is because of road work and busy conditions along DuSable Lakeshore Drive in the Tri-State either way northbound trip. A stall in the left lane at 176. Southbound 355, traffic slows down already in westbound 80, a crash at Larkin Avenue. Traffic is a service of Woodland Windows and Doors in Roselle. For over 52 years, Woodland has been transforming living spaces from Marvin Windows, featuring styles ranging from modern to traditional. Visit woodlandwindows.com to get started today. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be mostly cloudy and cooler with a low of 52. On Wednesday, expect cloudy skies in the morning, becoming breezy with a mix of clouds and sunshine in the afternoon. It will be less humid with a high of 58. Wednesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 46. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made. We're live from Goebert's farm in Pingree Grove. And you know who built this farm? The Goeberts did, not the fracking government. The government just figured out how to be their partner and extort them with the fear of stealing all their assets in a free country. Just let's lay the groundwork of how the mindset of a slave has been bred into us. And when you work, it's even worse when you have a job and they take those taxes out immediately. Then you feel lucky for the 50, the 60, the 70% they let you keep. And that's how you ingrain the mindset of a slave in a society. See, but that's not how it always was. And when we talk about money and taxes and this rat government, understand they work for us, not the other way around. And somewhere in the last 30 years, it was flipped on its ear. And I think it was right around the time when people started to brainwash you with Michelle Obama is beautiful. Next thing you know, you don't know which way is up and how to get out of a room because she's a dog's ass and this is a free country. And they don't have a right to steal 30%, 40%, or 50% of your income. And that's why the assault on Donald Trump came. So I want to lay it out a little bit of who we're dealing with when we talk about these professional con artists, suck-on politicians. This is a politician who's supposed to be a senator in a republic. He is supposed to be a lawyer on top of it, and he was supposed to graduate cum laude. His name is Tim Kaine, but he doesn't believe he's your servant or that the government represents you. He believes the government rules over you. This is important to understand why we are in this predicament.
The notion that rights don't come from laws and don't come from the government, but come from the creator, that's what the Iranian government believes. It's a theocratic regime that...
Listen here with your quivering little bitch voice. The reason you say that and the reason you feel like that is you do not understand the very people you represent or the country you represent them in. See, in this country, our rights are God-given, not government or man-given, and certainly not Democrat suck-on given. Now, it would probably be cheaper for me because you could buy a Democrat politician like the old days, $50, you get an alderman to eat a banana and drop off a fruit salad. But now, they're starting to understand what's at stake, and these pesky citizens are starting to think they're the boss. Quick, let's get the Department of Agitation and Propaganda on it. MSNBC yesterday.
What about this passage from Mike Johnson declaring that our rights do not derive from government, they come from you, our creator, and Heavenly Father? Is this him putting God over the Declaration of Independence?
Yes, and then citizen above government, and then you, communist, socialist, American, Marxist, Democrat mafia, you're suck-ass last. You're the caboose on the human race, and the idea you think you're going to intimidate people by pretending the government gives me the right to my money, I don't think you understand. There are at least 74 million people who vote the way I think. There is another 75 million who understand the way I think and the way this country is. So that leaves you Democrat, welfare, Mandamni, socialist, Marxist morons against all of us. So say when. And I am the huckleberry, and we all are, because we understand why you're so mad at Trump. After all, he recognized his money is his.
Never seen a white male billionaire screaming at the top of his lungs, this whole system is rigged. And the moderator said, well, Mr. Trump, if in fact the system is rigged, what would be your evidence? Remember what he said, bro? He said,
I absolutely used it, and so did Warren Buffett, and so did George Soros, and so did many of the other people that Hillary is getting money from.
No one ever heard someone say something that true. And then Hillary Clinton tried to punch him in the taxes. She said, this man doesn't pay his taxes. He shot right back.
See, I understand the tax code better than anybody that's ever run for president, and it's extremely complex.
And then he said,
she complains that Donald Trump took advantage of the tax code. Well, why didn't she change it? Why didn't you change it when you were a senator? The reason you didn't is that all your friends take the same advantage that I do. Hillary Clinton has friends that want all of these provisions.
And with that, my friends, the star was born.
What you don't understand is immediately they said he is a tax cheat, when the real tax cheat among us are all of these politicians who have carved out a legal way of bribery in their campaign funds, in their coffers. This is how they sold our country down the river, and this is why $30 trillion, mostly of debt, ends up back in their coffers, because they create the policies to enrich the politician and use the moron citizen as a stalking horse. And that's what Trump exposed. He understood the tax code because he understood how to navigate it if he wanted to keep his own money.
Did you use that $916 million loss to avoid paying personal federal income taxes?
Of course I do. Of course I do. And so do all of her donors, or most of her donors. I know many of her donors. Her donors took massive tax write-offs.
So have you not paid personal federal income?
Now keep in mind the idea that most imbeciles walking around, and all Democrats, do not understand that the number 2 plank of communism, the Communist Manifesto, is a progressive tax, which is absolutely and completely unconstitutional, but it's put in place to take away the most from the people who are the best at making it. And therein lies the major problem. Think about how much more prosperous all of us would be if the Americans, if the citizens kept their money. But for some reason, a government who we know misappropriates hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars. Somehow these suck-on Democrats, morons who don't pay attention, feel better when the government has the money and steals the money. This is what they're combating. They're trying to kill the idea of what liberty is and property is in the crib.
A lot of my write-off was depreciation and other things that Hillary, as a senator, allowed. And she'll always allow it because the people that give her all this money, they want it. That's why. See, I understand the tax code better than anybody that's ever run for president. Hillary Clinton, and it's extremely complex, Hillary Clinton has friends that want all of these provisions, including they want the carried interest provision, which is very important to Wall Street people, but they really want the carried interest provision, which I believe Hillary's leaving. It's very interesting why she's leaving carried interest, but I will tell you.
So the accusation, because he spoke out loud, most of which people do not talk about, and that drives me insane. Why are you afraid to demand your own fracking money when all these socialist, communists, and Democrats are very confident in demanding somebody else's money for nothing? That's the problem with your mindset. And understand what the government realized as the IRS apparatchiks to the Democrat mafia stole Donald Trump's tax returns and leaked them. And then they perpetrated lawfare to keep him against the ropes. Well, he immediately filed a $10 billion lawsuit against the government. Now, who has the power to settle that lawsuit? Only the IRS and the government, the bureaucracy, not Donald Trump. He doesn't have the power, even as president, to settle his own lawsuit.
Up to $1.8 billion could be going to President Trump's allies after his Justice Department announced they were establishing a fund for anyone who...
Listen to how it's reported. This is not anything to do with the fact the IRS and the federal government made an offer and compromise themselves because they knew they were guilty. And for a $10 billion lawsuit, the government begged Donald Trump to take $1.8 billion to make the lawsuit go away. He not only took it, what these propagandists called media, they're upset with the fact how he wants to use it. I don't give a rip if he burns it. It's his. And listen to how the story is told. Anything but the truth.
Believes that they have been unfairly targeted by a federal investigation. Now, this agreement was negotiated by the president's personal lawyers who were handling his $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS. And on the other side of the table were Trump administration lawyers from the Justice Department, the White House, and the IRS. There was no outside voice here. Now, they say that anyone...
Hey, stupid. Man, oh man, does everybody get their job like Kamala Harris with their top off and a hornswaggler? His lawyers represent him. The government has a team, a football team, numerous football teams full of lawyers. They made the offer. He was the outsider, moron.
With a claim can file for an apology and a possible monetary settlement. They insist there's no partisan requirements, but all of these claims are going to be vetted by a group of 5 people selected by the Attorney General. Now, one will be selected with Congress, but the president can fire any of these people if he doesn't like what...
It's his money. This is always left out. Just like the money that they take from you in your check is your money. You just got used to the idea they could do whatever they want with it. And that's the difference between somebody who understands property rights versus somebody who thinks they're lucky if the government only takes 50% of what they earned.
That, number one, I pay tremendous numbers of taxes. I absolutely used it, and so did Warren Buffett, and so did George Soros, and so did many of the other people that Hillary is getting money.
Why do you think they fear the big, beautiful bill so much? The big, beautiful bill gives you the power over your money. And if you use that money for the growth of your own wealth, your company's own growth, to hire your own employees, you keep the money. The government doesn't want that. That's why it's incentivized to fail, so they can take more from you. Like in Chicago, You pay more, not based on the property value of your real estate, on the liability of the government spending. You pay water for water that they say they give you. How do they own the water? Then you pay taxes on top of the water. Then you pay for them to hire suck-ons at the water department. You don't even know what is yours and what is theirs. You don't even know how many times you're taxed on gas and electricity. This is how you build in the mind of a slave.
Now, I won't mention their names because they're rich, but they're not famous, so we won't make them famous.
Can you say how many years you have avoided paying personal federal income taxes?
No, but I pay tax and I pay federal tax too.
What do you think he pays in just property taxes? Just property taxes. As a landlord, that always gets swept under the rug. What do you think he pays on taxes to maintain the property? The people he hires that pay their own taxes. Donald Trump and every one of you that is a capitalist is worth 7,000 government employees who can never pay taxes because their salary is derived from the theft of your money. Understand the game.
People were saying $750. I asked them a week ago, I said, what did I pay? They said, sir, you prepaid tens of millions of dollars. I prepaid my tax. Tens over the last number of years. Tens of millions of dollars I prepaid. Because at some point they think it's an estimate. They think I may have to pay tax. So I already prepaid it. Nobody told me that.
Did your accountant tell you?
And Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and their liaisons and apparatchiks in the government leaked his tax records. That's what this lawsuit was about from the beginning. And it got me thinking, how many billions of dollars did the Clintons steal just from Haiti? How many billions of dollars were thrown into the Clinton Foundation while the Duchess of Chaffington was the Secretary of State, and then she took her thumb off all the rules and regulations? How much in taxes have Bill and the Duchess of Chaffington paid? I mean, after all, they're worth hundreds of millions that they admit to. Billions if you add in the Clinton Foundation.
That has eroded some trust that we've seen is the issue of your email practices while you were Secretary of State. I think there's a lot of people who don't understand what your thought process was on that. So can you tell me the story of how you decided to delete 33,000 emails and how that deletion was executed?
Well, let's start from the beginning.
Shut up, fatso. Now tell me how the Clinton Foundation never received an audit. How did the Clinton Foundation never receive an audit? And then there's Barack Obama, who likes big butts and he cannot lie. He was late on his car payment for the ghetto Bentley when he was a state senator. Now he owes $50 to $70 million in real estate. Has anybody ever audited the Obama Foundation?
Another matter, over the past few days, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has unveiled shocking new evidence that former President Barack Obama and top aides in the Obama administration conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory and undermine the democratic will of the American people. While
not a Somalian was audited either. Starting to see the picture? They are the government. They are the extortionists. And we're the victims if we let ourselves become them. 312-642-5600.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show, where Democrats are always wrong, Republicans are seldom right, and politicians are never, ever to be trusted. On AM 560, The Answer.
Memorial Day is more than a long weekend. It's a time to honor the men and women who gave everything for this country. And what better way to show your patriotism than with a handcrafted American flag built to last for generations? At uniquewoodenflags.com, every flag is handcrafted from quality wood with a beautiful rustic finish that turns any room, office, garage, or backyard into a tribute to America. Choose from classic American flags, military branch flags, thin blue line designs, Don't Tread on Me flags, our very popular Trump collection, and more. These aren't cheap plastic flags from a big box store. These are handcrafted pieces of American pride. Honor our heroes this Memorial Day and give a gift that actually means something. Visit uniquewoodenflags.com. That's uniquewoodenflags.com.
It's almost time once again for the annual AM 560 Golf Outing, presented by Signature Bank. AM 560 is proud to partner with the Tunnel to Towers Foundation to help them support America's first responder and military heroes, to help America never forget 9/11. This year, our golf outing is happening on Monday, June 15th at McRae Memorial Golf Club in Barrington. When you purchase a foursome to join us, you'll enjoy a full day of golf, meals, an awards reception, and a silent auction. And if you're a business owner, when you purchase a foursome, you'll also receive an AM 560 marketing campaign, which includes 25 one-minute commercials to air on AM 560 Monday through Friday between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. and a free digital marketing analysis. Reserve your foursome today at 560theanswer.com/golf. That's 560theanswer.com/golf. Sponsored in part by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Nolan Webster and by real estate broker Ed Dream at leavingil.com.
Food, fuel, jobs. It all starts with homegrown Illinois corn. Driving a $148 billion economic impact, corn supports thousands of jobs and strengthens communities across our state. It's advancing cleaner burning biofuels, expanding plant-based manufacturing, and growing a renewable economy. Illinois corn isn't just an agricultural success, it's a strategic investment in energy, innovation, and economic growth. See what's possible at ilcorn.org.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
AM 560, The Answer.
There it is. You know who never worries about being audited? Congressmen, senators, lobbyists. How many guys from the Carlyle Group ever got audited? Boy, that would be interesting, huh? I'll never forget we had the waitress call. Showed $3,000. You remember, honey bunny? 18% interest. Poor lady's working her ass off. And all these scoundrels. It's money for nothing and ugly chicks for free, especially among these Democrats. They are frickin' ugly. You notice that? I look around in Chicago. What happened to you people? It used to be a nice-looking city. 312-642-5600, live in Pingree Grove at Goebert's. By the way, Goebert's all good-looking people, huh? Like Elvis Presley. Terry, Chicago.
Hey, Shaun, a slave under scrutiny is not without welts. The Pharaoh told Israel to make bricks without straw, and dirt is meant to be walked on. That's the Democratic Party. Hey, and enjoy your version of Woodstock. Everybody's smoking cigars, right?
Oh, it's fantastic. Do you know what's interesting, though, Terry? What I like, and you'll appreciate this, too. The more they expand government spending and hire people, the more they think those people can generate revenue. I love to watch the economic illiterates go broke at a rapid pace, ever growing. Don't you?
Yeah, Shaun, you're my economic advisor. That's why I figured I can't get out of the city.
No, you should have got out. You missed the window. Now you just have to go down and ride the ship. Lock the doors, Terry. It's just going to get spicier. Mike DuPage. Michael.
You're right. Hey, what's going on?
Are you all right? Nothing. You kidnapped?
Are you all right? Yeah, I'm great. Nothing. You kidnapped? Yeah. No, I escaped to the free Republic of Texas. I get to live like an American again.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Very good.
Yeah, wonderful.
We got a lot of reverb. We're going to have to call you back. We're going to have to call you. We don't call anybody. The phone doesn't even dial out. We just have you call on 312-642-5600. I love it as it's getting busy, but I want to stick on this broader point because it sets the tone for everything we face. And once you understand, the old way to take over people was through failed policies. That's why debt always grows in the most corrupt areas. But now that they understand they can weaponize the court system, now you've got problem on problem until Donald Trump. This victory and him giving the money away to the people who recognized the most obvious election theft in this country's history, called the 2020 election, is what they fear the most, which is why they have to rewrite in real time what this fund represents and what the settlement is an admission of.
They're doing with this fund. Now, after a decade of reporting on President Trump's various legal entanglements, I can say I don't think the average person fully appreciates the extent to which not just the president, but also his lawyers, who are now all working in government, that they really believe he was unfairly targeted by these previous criminal investigations.
You're mixing two stories. That's another case, dingbat. And that's the case where there was no plaintiff with Letitia James. There was no plaintiff. They railroaded him in front of a crooked Democrat judge who looked a lot like a fish without a hook in his mouth. And they got their way of false persecution, not prosecution. And this is going to lead to case number 2 that will be settled. You see, they're going to have to keep spinning it. They're going to have to keep lying about history. But we understand exactly what happened and who never gets audited.
Everything I did was permitted. There was no law. There was no regulation. There was nothing that did not give me the full authority to decide how I was going to communicate.
See how nice it is when you realize you're a god among people? This isn't a government, and these aren't people who believe they answer to you. They'll tell you whatever they want to, and you'll do nothing about it in the Democrat mafia, USSA. It's still the USA. Mike DuPage.
Hey, brother. What's going on, man? Greetings from the Free Republic of Texas.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you're there.
Yeah, me too, man. I escaped. I'm a refugee. It's beautiful. Hey, listen, I was just telling Honey Bunny that, you and I have talked about this. These morons, these gangster frauds in government run bigger, more lucrative rackets than the mob guys ever dreamed of. They put them out of business because they didn't want the competition.
Well, and they get a pension.
Joy the Clown,
I never met a bookmaker with a pension. I never met a bagman with a pension. It's way better to be in government. If you're a kid out there and you're thinking about slinging some dope on the corner, or you want to run some numbers or take bets, forget about it. Go down to your local government office and fill out an application. It's a much better gig. You have no chance of ever working. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, you remember Joey the Clown, right? That was our neighborhood. That's Grand Avenue, right? These guys make him look like he was running nickel craps game in the alley. I mean, he's an amateur compared to these clowns.
He was half of the gangster. He was half the gangster of Mike Madigan. Yeah. Half the gangster of Ed Burke. Because you know what? When cops drove Joey around, he was going to jail. When cops drove down to Ed Burke, he was going to his side broad's house. That's the difference, Mike. Spot him a million miles away. Was Ed Burke ever audited? No? I got to go on break? Boy, this is the fastest show ever. We'll be back.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the Made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
This is Ed Morrissey of HotAir.com for Town Hall. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and the U.S. Department of Justice struck a blow against the trans industry in a new settlement. $10 million and a new first-in-the-nation clinic to unwind the damage done to children caught up in the pediatric sex change industry's machinations, stripping 5 of its practitioners of access to more potential victims. Texas Children's Hospital in Houston agreed to end its pediatric sex change practice, pay $10 million in penalties, while opening the nation's first detransition center to assist victims of this predatory industry. This settlement also vindicates Dr. Ethan Haim, who blew the whistle on the fraud and got targeted by the Biden-era DOJ and the medical industry for retaliation. Haim faced criminal prosecution under a ginned-up HIPAA complaint that could have put him in prison for 10 years. This settlement gives justice to Texas children maimed and sterilized by a despicable medical establishment. Dr. Haim deserves justice too, along with his vindication.
All right, when we get back, 312-642-5600. However, we're going to do the news, and I've got Mike from Fox Valley Coins, and we're going to talk about a plethora of different topics when it comes to coins, precious metals, and what your options are. That'll be after Mike Scott in the news.
Good afternoon, Shaun. Clouds with a low of 52 tonight. In our QC Kinetics newsroom, I'm Mike Scott. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche is defending the Trump administration plans to create a nearly $1.8 billion fund to pay allies of the GOP president who believe they were targeted politically. During a Senate subcommittee hearing, Democrat Chris Van Hollen says it's actually just a slush fund.
That is pure theft of public funds. And rewarding individuals who committed crimes is obscene.
Also at the Capitol, President Trump says an attack on Iran would have been happening right now had he not put it on hold, telling reporters he was about an hour away from making that decision when he got a call from Middle Eastern leaders saying they think a deal could be close. Sox and Mariners tonight, Cubs hosting Milwaukee. The news, a service of Steiner Homes. Building homes is more than a business, it's a calling. Family-owned and dedicated to building custom homes with care, integrity, and craftsmanship you can trust. Visit SteinerHomesLTD.com, Northwest Indiana's leading home builder. Your next news is at 5. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. Now with an update from the AM 560 Traffic Center, here is Jill Urchak.
Westbound I-80, there is an accident on the exit ramp to Larkin Avenue. A heads up for that. Also on the Eden Spur, tight spur to Skokie, 50 minutes inbound. That's jammed. Kennedy just under an hour. Janeburn Interchange to O'Hare. On the Eisenhower, 1 hour and 15. Post Office to 390. Stevenson's an hour and 5 to get to 355 from DuSable Lakeshore Drive. And the outbound Rhine is 42 minutes. Heavy outbound Ford, 115th all the way down to 159th with roadwork. Busy conditions along DuSable Lakeshore Drive in the Tri-State with the stall northbound side of the Tri-State at 176. The Reagan and 355 are also filling in with hefty delays as well. Another construction delay to watch for northbound Route 53 from the Eisenhower to Kirchhoff. Westbound I-80, again, that crash at Larkin is slowing down. Looks like crews are on the scene for that. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will bring mostly cloudy skies and cooler temperatures with a low of 52. As we move into Wednesday, expect cloudy conditions in the morning, transitioning to a mix of clouds and sunshine in the afternoon, along with breezy winds. It'll be less humid with a high of 58. Wednesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 46. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
John was an active man. He'd go for runs, walk the golf course, and always take the stairs instead of the elevator. But then bone-on-bone knee pain got in the way. Ow! And affected his mobility. It became too painful to even go for walks. And when it seemed like John's only option was knee replacement surgery, a friend told him about the Joint Relief Institute and their affordable, non-surgical knee pain relief. John met with the Joint Relief Institute and discovered their lubricating gel treatment could rejuvenate his lost cartilage. Safe, effective, no surgery. Long story short, John is now back to being active without pain or medication.
There is an alternative to knee replacement surgery. Stop living in pain. Call the Joint Relief Institute today, 708-315-6800, or visit jointreliefinstitute.com. Locations in Glenview, Oak Brook, and Orland Park. That's 708-315-6800. Medicare and most private insurance plans accepted. Reclaim your mobility with the Joint Relief Institute.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a super fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. But wait, there's more. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be switching to an American wireless company that's committed to keeping 100% of its customer service in this country. I appreciate that. In fact, that's why I switched. I also appreciate the way they support our vets and our skilled workforce. Dial pound 250, say micro, and get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. That's pound 250 micro. Stop paying twice what you need to pay for the service you want and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Sports memorabilia, movie posters, rock and roll. Get top dollar for your collection. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
You know, if you listen to the show, it's about you. This whole mindset of communism and socialism and American Democrats is to make you think it's about the collective. There is no collective. There's only you. And only you look out for you. And if you're going to do that, there's many, many ways to do it. And one of the things I love about our next guest is my grandfather used to collect coins and was big on the price of silver. And I'm going back to the 70s and 80s. He would be loving it today. Silver, what is it, $78, Mike?
It was about $74 today.
$74. We got Mike from Fox Valley Coins. And it's interesting because it's more than just coins. It's so much more.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We do gold and silver bullion, platinum, palladium is another one, rhodium, things like that. Now, and also currency. We also do currency. So it's not just coins, but bills, notes, currency like that.
Now, let's have a disclaimer out because this show is broadcast into Chicago, and some of the CPS students can't figure out how to change the station. So don't bring the catalytic converters you just stole. He's not interested in that. But if you want to buy the metals separately, you can do that, right?
Yeah, we do scrap gold. We do sterling, things like that. But, yeah, the catalytic converters
we're going to leave that off to the shelf. You'll be dealing with the gangster disciples. That's a lose-lose for everybody. But the nice thing is you're even doing the jewelry, which means it's kind of surprising because, you know, I'm going to tell you something. I can remember there's a guy walking around here. We used to be in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And when gold broke $265 an ounce, he ran into the pit. He's a chubby guy, so it wasn't easy. There was some chafing going on. And he said, buy everything you can. And now it's $5,000 an ounce.
Yeah, close to. And it was over that at the end of January.
So when you think about it, even the gold you have in jewelry might be worth a tremendous amount that you're unaware of.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And offers from us are free, so you're not obligated to sell. So if you come in, we'll make you an offer. If you want to sell it, that's what we'll pay you. And if you want to hang on to it and just know what you have, that's fine.
Now, during the break, you and I were talking. It's really a service where you're kind of a concierge service, too. You'll meet people. They don't have to mail the silver and gold. You'll buy it from them. You'll sell it to them in any form that you can, whether it's an ounce, whether it's 10 ounces or 5 ounces. It's more than just the coins, but it includes the coins. So if they have old coins from their grandfather, you'll price those as well.
Oh, definitely. You know, that's the main thing that we do, you know, is we're really a coin dealer. So, you know, collectible coins, things like that. But precious metals just really took off, and it's really become a larger and larger part of our business. But the main business and how he started was definitely in coin collecting.
Now, I'm always fascinated with the idea that coins were not only made of different metals. I mean, after all, you get a 50 cent gold piece or a silver piece. Kennedy, that's an ounce.
It's not an ounce, but
99 or 95.
Well, it's 90% silver. That's the percentage that the coin's made up of, and then it takes like $1.40 to make an ounce.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a little different.
So then the Liberty dollar, that silver dollar, that's an ounce.
No, that's actually not an ounce either.
Really?
Well, back when we made our money, gold and silver was at a 16-to-1 ratio, so it was really pinned to the dollar. And so there was a specific amount, 0.7734 is how much silver of an ounce is how much silver is in a dollar.
That's fascinating. So, and the reason I say that is that calculation you just said, that's what future traders are banking on when they predict that silver could go to 500 an ounce.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because like I said, I think it's about 16-1 was the traditional when we instituted gold and silver into our money system.
Right,
so
right.
There's a lot of people that are holding on to that to come back around at some point.
Well, I like it for buying or selling because, I mean, after all, if you've got, 10 ounces of silver that you bought when it was $15 or $16, you're going to Sizzler if you just go to Fox Valley and sell it. And if you want to think it's going to 500, you go to Fox Valley and buy it.
That's
I love
true.
That. I love that.
We love to do both. No matter which one you want to do, we take cash, check, and we can pay you in cash or check or a wire, whatever's easiest for you.
Which is huge, right? So if someone's selling it for their kids and they live in Las Vegas, you wire it to the account.
Certainly.
It's a fantastic venue. And you're also, when you're pricing the old currencies, you're showing them how you're getting that price. So they don't have to be, right? If somebody brings in an old Liberty coin that's from 1913 and it has the misprint on it, now you know that's huge money.
Oh,
you're going to show them that.
We deal in all sorts of rarities and things like that. We have plenty of outlets. We've been in business for 45 years, so we know everywhere we need to go, whether we need to source something for you or if we need to buy something and kind of move on from it, and really get the best price out of it.
I used to always talk to guys who were in your business years and years ago because sometimes they're the forecasters for what they see on Main Street. So what do you see? Are people coming in now and selling their items, or are more people coming in and buying their items? I'm curious.
It's really about 50-50.
Really?
Yeah, I would say that metals really hit a high at the end of January, and now I feel like it's consolidating. So there's some people that think it's high enough for them because they got in early, and so they're saying, hey, it's good enough for me, and they're selling it to us. There's other people that are thinking it's going to go to 500 like you said or something like that, so they're still buying.
So if you want to acquire or you want to sell, it's Fox Valley Coins. Where is it located? Where exactly is it located?
We're one light north. We're Route 88 and Route 59 intersect.
So you're right here.
Yeah, we're right on the border in Naperville and Warrenville, and right where, if you know where a CarMax or a Top Golf's at, we're just north of that.
All right, well, listen, Mike, do they ask for you? You want to be real busy, or should you just pawn them off on anybody?
I certainly can help them.
All right, good.
But all of our staff is friendly. We'll answer their questions and be happy to help anybody, collections large and small.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you for coming out and telling the people about it. And I got to tell you, after talking to you in the 50-50, I'm a buyer.
All right.
50-50 means I was fully prepared for you to say more people are selling, because I have to review the news. And the news is always, it's never going to make it. We're at the worst economy ever. No. I think that's wrong. I think, and you proved it wrong. When just the same amount of people are buying, I like it for the future.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think it's consolidating and ready for another leg up.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll circle back. Next event we have here, you meet me here.
Okay.
I'm going to predict silver, you said, is $74 an ounce, $78?
Yeah, right now it's about 74.
All right, I'm going to predict $1.50, 150 an ounce.
Okay.
And you could take anything under that. And we'll have Goebbert here make us a steak taco. Deal?
Deal.
Bet.
All right.
Oh, I hate to lose, kid.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to enjoy that steak. It's going to taste better when you buy it. Mike from Fox Valley, give me the full title.
Fox Valley Coins.
That's it?
Yep, just Fox Valley Coins.
Fox Valley Coins and investments and hedge your future at Fox Valley Coins. Oh, see? Yep. Right there. Write that down. All right, good enough. Get that for free. Thank you very much, Mike. I really appreciate it. 312-642-5600. Take your calls and comments when we get back.
Call Shaun now. 312-642-5600.
Are you turning 65 and thinking about Medicare? Or are you over 65 and haven't enrolled yet because you still have coverage at work? Either way, Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Imagine having an annual deductible of only $283. There are only two good things about aging, wisdom and Medicare. But to navigate the Medicare maze properly, you need a mentor. Best part? My guidance costs you nothing. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Medicare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than a decade. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Perhaps you're a collector, or perhaps all of a sudden you have a collection. Maybe it's an inheritance. How do you know what it's worth? This is Shaun Thompson for Donnelly Auction. The market for antiques and collectibles is changing all the time. What is your collection worth right now? Well, I've got an easy way to find out. It's simple. You contact Donnelly Auctions. With their worldwide audience of live and in-person auctions, they have a good idea of how to tell you exactly what it's worth at exactly right now. They're ready to put top dollar in your pocket. The bigger the collection, the better. Go to DonnellyAuctions.com and get the info on all things that they buy and sell to have an idea of exactly what Donnelly does and how much they need your collection. They have so many buyers, it's a great time to sell. Just simply make a phone call. Donnelly has traveled all over the country to pick up collections. Just call and talk to the people at Donnelly Auctions at 815-923-7000. Donnelly Auctions is your trusted partner in turning your collections into cash. DonnellyAuctions.com.
You know I don't push products I don't believe in, so listen up because this one I love and recommend to friends and listeners. It's Virago Liquid Immune Support. Now, I spoke with Dr. Hubert, the creator of Virago, and let me tell you, this man knows immune health like nobody's business. He explained to me the stronger your immune system, the stronger your body fights back against viruses, disease, inflammation, all of it. That's why he created Virago. It's a liquid immune boosting supplement packed with 23 powerful nutraceuticals working together in synergy. It's antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and even protects your heart, kidneys, and liver. And because it's liquid, your body absorbs it quickly. I mix Virago in my smoothies. I feel the difference, and you will too. So order your bottle of Virago today at myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com and use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. myvirago.com, coupon code IMMUNE.
I'd like to tell you about a man named Phineas who as a child survived the Holocaust. Phineas survived because Christians hid him from the Nazis, risking everything to save his life. Today, Phineas is in his 80s. He can no longer stand on his own or even leave his home to receive medical care. And when sirens sound and missiles fall, he doesn't have the time or the strength to reach safety. But once again, Christians are helping to save his life. Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, a mobile clinic brings doctors and medicine right to Phineas's doorstep, providing care that he otherwise would not receive, especially during a time of war. Phineas said, "Christians saved my life during the Holocaust, and now again, they are helping me." As Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day approaches, remember these precious children of God by lifting them up in prayer, asking for his protection, his comfort, and his peace. Stand with Israel in prayer by visiting supportifcj.org. That's supportifcj.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
It's a million years ago, brother. 312-642-5600. Eduardo in Tampa Bay. Eduardo, I hear it's raining now. Or is that just by me? Is it raining by you too?
Yeah, you must have a camera over here. Yeah, it's about to rain.
I got cameras everywhere. All right, good. Is it those big drops? They're like shoes just hitting the car. I do miss that, though. You know, here it's a little different. The weather's a little thicker.
Well, we don't got the fire like you guys, you NAPO guys over there. You guys got those fires.
I'm north of that. That's for the Southsiders. Come on now.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Okay. Well, my comment is, I'm with the president as far as the self-restraint because I think we really got to be careful how we hit Iran. And, you know,
do you?
We got these gas prices. And
do you think? You know what I keep thinking about, brother? What if me and you were born by happenstance in Iran, and we didn't believe in that hobgoblin made-up Gatsan Ghul with the guy who married the 6-year-old, and we said, you know, I don't want to believe in this nonsense. I don't like it, and I don't want my wife walking around like a beekeeper. We would get killed there. So I would want everybody to come out and kill those theocrats that were threatening us and our family, wouldn't you? And then I watch these Iranians that are here. A lot of them are women. And I used to have the clips I would send them to Honey Bunny. You'd be amazed at the stuff I don't play. And it would be these Iranian women crying. And, you know, I think that some of that gets lost in this show restraint. Because when they walk around and beat the women for raising their eyes and looking at them, they're not showing restraint. I don't want to be polite around guys who like beating up strangers for looking.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's time we kicked her fracking derriere. Don't you?
Yeah. They should be glad they're in the U.S. Otherwise, they'd be slain.
Exactly. But
yeah,
maybe we should just kick their ass and take it. In 6 months, we introduce them to baseball. I don't even like baseball. Perhaps football. How about just some civility? Turn it into the Iran and the pitchers from 1975. You want to do that? Let's bring Iran.
Yeah,
let's make Iran great again.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we could start a whole new slogan. And right after we bomb them, we're going to make Iran great again. That's just me. I'm silly that way, Eduardo, because I don't buy anything that Democrats are selling. And the Democrats have been selling all this hobgoblin nonsense. Thank you very much for the call. Remember when Barack Obama airlifted billions and paid them, said it was interest, even though interest is forbidden? Well, the Democrats today, they want to do it all over again. This Senator Von Hollen, crooked Democrat rat, wants to renegotiate another Iran deal and give them another $7.8 billion.
Do you think diplomacy could actually bring about another Iran nuclear deal at this point, Senator?
Well, I know if we had people who were willing to negotiate, we could get it done, because we got that done when President Obama was in office. We had the JCPOA. The JCPOA prevented Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. It dramatically contained its nuclear.
Keep in mind, when this imbecile is talking about this, he's negating the fact they were enriching uranium to 80%. They want you to pretend none of that happened. They sold Obama a line of bulldog, or even worse, Obama sold us one, as he gave them billions of dollars and let them do anything. After all, the weapons they're now bombing their neighbors with. All the experts didn't think they had 50% of it. So what the frack do you know, Holland? Van Hollen, scumbag. George, Naperville.
Yeah, Shaun, I'd like to send well wishes to all our troops who are waiting for their orders.
Excellent. Now, we're not going to go with troops. We're just going to bomb them from the sea. I hope that the Admiral lights up a cigar and they got a picture of him as he lets the bombs fly. And by the way, you can come out to Goebert's farm in Pingree Grove. Tickets are still available. You got to just check in with the lady. Check with the lady. Drinks are not on the house. We are not Democrats. Nothing is for free, but you're going to have the time of your life as we expand it. And this Van Hollen, something else happened today. See how he sells this line of bulldog to give Iranians $1.7 billion?
Enrichment program, and it had the world's most intense inspection regime, so that if they cheated, we could catch them like that.
But you didn't catch them like that, stupid. And that $1.8 billion that Barack Obama, boy, that wife is ugly of his. Big feet, too. Barack Obama gave the Iranians, that's the exact amount the IRS settled with Donald Trump with, and he wants to give it to people who were wrongfully persecuted by the so-called Merrick Garland ferret-faced Justice Department. And this same Senator, Van Hollen, he doesn't like that. He would rather have the Iranians get $1.8 billion than Americans.
Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of, quote, people named.
How about Ghislaine Maxwell? Can you commit that you will?
Yes, I can commit to that, of course.
Okay. Let me go back to this slush fund. There's also an individual who, after being pardoned by the president, went on to molest 2 children. And that person actually tried to buy the silence of these children by saying that he would pay them some of the funds that he was hoping to get.
Doesn't that sound like an aggravating story? Well, it would be if it had any truth in it, which it has none.
From your slush fund. Can you commit to making the rules so that that person is not eligible for a payout under this fund?
Well, you're obviously lying in your question, because there's no way that this person committed to that. But the slush fund, as you call it, which is not, didn't exist.
I'm sure,
but I can commit.
Mr. Attorney General, don't ever do that again. I am reporting
what again?
What he said. He said on the expectation.
Don't ever do that again. Do you hear how you work for him, stupid? You work for us. And this idea that they can dictate what Donald Trump does with his own money, light it on fire. That's what I think he should do. Light it on fire. We'll be back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
The following advertisement includes a celebrity impersonation.
The summer heat in Chicagoland is no joke. And if your old air conditioner is making funny noises, you may already know it's time for a new unit.
Look, your air conditioner, it's a disaster. People are telling me it's the worst ever.
Don't sweat it, literally. When it comes to cooling your home, Air Right Heating and Cooling does it the best.
And they love our country. Beautiful people.
Rebates are still available, financing is flexible, and at Air Right installations are smooth and professional with no surprises.
It's beautiful. Some people say it's the coolest air anyone's ever felt. I don't know. That's just what they're saying. It's doing an incredible job. Really tremendous.
Plus, tell them AM 560 sent you and Air Right will give you $56 off any service. Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling today at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. Air Right Heating and Cooling. Doing it right since 1959.
Hey, this is Shaun Thompson. You know, most of us spend our entire lives in the paycheck mode. You work, you get 30% taken from the G, you pay your bills, repeat and rinse. And that's how time goes by. Then all of a sudden you're old. Retirement hits. Suddenly, you're the one who has to figure out your paycheck that isn't there anymore. Markets are bumpy, prices are up, things can get stressful real fast. That's why having a real income plan matters. Tom Fortino and the team at Alpha Wealth Group can help you build a strategy to turn your hard-earned savings into a reliable retirement income. They coordinate with your Social Security and your tax planning, so you can stop wondering if you're withdrawing the right amount at the right time. Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group have been doing this for 30 years. They can help you by giving you a complimentary retirement roadmap. And all you have to do is call 630-864-6711. That's 630-864-6711 or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
Let me ask you something. Does your garage floor look bad? Covered in salt, cracked, or stained from the winter's brutal blast? Well, I've got a fix for you so you can start enjoying your garage this spring. Contact my good friends at Level 10 Coatings. Level 10 brought my garage floor from dirty and gross to showroom, shiny new in just one day. Level 10 Coatings can do the same for you. A quick and easy fix, permanent durable solution. Guaranteed to never chip or peel. Get it done now so you can enjoy your garage this spring and summer. Schedule your free quote today and mention me, Amy, for $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com. Level10coatings.com or call 855-510-2628. Again, that's 855-510-2628. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Live at Goebert's farm in Pingree Grove. It's filling up nicely. A lot of people here. It's good. It's only going to get better. So don't forget, you can still get tickets. Just come out to the gate, see the lady at the table. When we get back, Scott Tucker, president and investment advisor representing at Scott Tucker Solutions, is going to talk all things retirement and the rat IRS who's dying to steal your fracking money. And if you die in a Democrat area, you won't even be embalmed. They're going to steal stuff. We'll talk about how you can protect it with Scott Tucker after news with Mike Scott.
Good afternoon, Shaun. Some clouds with a low of 52 tonight. In the QC Kinetics newsroom, I'm Mike Scott. The NTSB holding an investigative hearing into a deadly UPS cargo plane crash in Louisville last year.
National Transportation Safety Board Inspector Chi-Hoon Shin said cracks on that engine were found previously.
These inspections were last accomplished on the accident airplane on October 28, 2021.
Speaking at a hearing in Washington, the NTSB will also question personnel from UPS and Boeing. Eben Brown, Fox News.
6 states holding primary elections today for races in the U.S. House, Senate, and governor. Voters heading to the polls in key states like Alabama, Kentucky, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. Funeral arrangements have been made for a Chicago firefighter who died after suffering a medical emergency during a training incident. It has been announced that a visitation will be held in Steve Decker's honor on Thursday at the Colonia Funeral Home in Chicago. Sox and Mariners tonight. Cubs host Milwaukee. The news, a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Hear both shows, limited commercials. Subscribe free
at 560theanswer.com/podcast. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages ending near their worst levels of the trading session, and the Dow wiping out gains for the month as Treasury yields surge and inflation worry slams stocks. Tech, financials, and industrials leading the losses. The Magnificent Seven big cap tech stocks were mostly lower, led by Amazon and Alphabet. Shares of Nvidia were down nearly 1% as investors eagerly await its earnings report after the closing bell on Wednesday. Its results could decide the AI rally's next moves. And shares of Intel rose over 2% and snapped its 5-session losing streak. A Seaport analyst believes that Intel and AMD have good prospects for growing their numbers despite a choppy market. The Dow down 322 points, the Nasdaq lower by 220, S&P 500 down 49. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds. And you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
Now, this 25th anniversary of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation remains committed to honoring the heroes shaped by that day. Heroes like NYPD Detective Victor Vargas, a U.S. Air Force veteran who died from pancreatic cancer after serving in the World Trade Center recovery efforts. Tunnel to Towers honored Detective Vargas by paying off the family's mortgage. You can donate $11 a month, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
If you've saved $100,000 or more for retirement, call Steve Shyman today at 833-945-7283. That's 833-WILL-SAVE, 833-WILL-SAVE. Schedule your no-cost, no-obligation retirement review and make sure your plan is built to protect what you've worked so hard to earn. And don't forget to listen to Steve's show, Protecting Your Assets, Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. right here on AM 560. Call now, 833-945-7283.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Westbound I-80, there is an accident on the exit ramp to Larkin Avenue, and that is really heavy at this time. On the Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare checks in at 1 hour. Eden Spur tight from the Spur to Montrose, but the inbound trip is jammed at 1 hour. On the outbound Kennedy, it's an hour downtown to O'Hare. Eisenhower, 1 hour and 20, Post Office to 390, and the outbound Stevenson is an hour and 5 to get out to 355. 48 minutes outbound trip of the Dan Ryan. Very heavy along DuSable Lakeshore Drive and the Tri-State either way. Northbound Tri-State is stalled semi on the exit ramp to 176. All of the other tollways are busy either way as well. This report is a service of Salem Surround, a local digital marketing agency providing high-performing digital solutions to surround your target audience. Go to surroundchicago.com today. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be mostly cloudy and cooler with a low of 52. On Wednesday, expect cloudy skies in the morning, becoming breezy with a mix of clouds and sunshine in the afternoon. It will be less humid with a high of 58. Wednesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 46. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America.
I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry enormous guns. I love property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country, read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian Economic School, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wait.
250-year-old country. But we've had the highest quality of life since the very beginning, because we give you the opportunity to keep your own property rights. I love that intro too. Von Mises. There isn't a rat Democrat moron who understands the importance of von Mises or capitalism or what this country stands for. The good news is you don't need them to. You just have to protect yourself while you're alive and make certain that when you die, your kids get the money. And that's why we are talking to Scott Tucker, the president, investment advisor, representative of Scott Tucker Solutions. He named his company very deceiving. You didn't want anyone to know it was you. I like that about you. You're very modest. And he's dressed in a suit coat, and it's buttoned. And we're ready. Scott Tucker, how are you, handsome?
Oh, I'm doing great, Shaun. How are you?
Very good, very good. This is very important stuff, and I love to tell people about it because there's, every day the average American makes 30,000 decisions. And they don't know it. They don't know it. 30,000 decisions from the minute you open your eyes to the minute you close them. Those are the decisions, if you're aware of them, you make the right ones, and you don't have to worry about what you make as you get older. Isn't it true?
Well, people make decisions all of the time, Shaun, every day, and they don't think about it at all. They make a decision to save in their 401k, not save in their 401k, put money in the traditional, not put it in the traditional, put it in the Roth or not. And a lot of folks just sleepwalk, and then when they're 60, 65, they wake up and a lot of times they find a mess.
Now, the other side of the coin is, listen, I'm not kidding you, brother. I remember not knowing if we were going to be able to make rent. It was me and my mother. We didn't have the fracking money to put away. The idea of saving was so foreign. What do you mean saving? I can barely get through it. But the interesting thing about structuring something, anything, 10% of what your salary is. The benefits, not just at retirement, but during taxes, if you structure that correctly, can really make such an incredible difference, because money is time, right? It's got a timestamp on it. And if you put $10 away 30 years ago, it's like putting 90 away today. And that's what people don't understand. And if you do that, that $10 isn't really $10 by the time you need it. It's 90. And this is what people need to be aware of. But only people who study money understand it, and that's why it's important you get the right consultation, isn't it?
That's right. You mentioned a thing about a time when you're younger and you didn't have anything. But as we go, we gain more experience, and we improve our skills, and we move up into higher and higher paying profession or job or whatnot. You ask for a raise, you switch jobs, but then you get to a point where you could just go below that money. Of course, I think most of our listeners are smart enough to know that's not the way to go. So as you go, set up an automated system, saving at the Roth 401k at work, maybe get a match, don't get a match, but that compound interest. Warren Buffett said that compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world.
Really?
But let's not compound the growth in our tax deferred accounts like our IRA or traditional 401k or deferred comp. Let's think about the importance of growing the money in tax-free accounts. That's really going to give you a better outcome.
So the Roth is always the original, right?
Yeah, that's the most common, right?
That's the most common. But there are ways to convert as you're working, as you're maturing, that people are unaware of as well.
Right, since 2010, and most folks don't even know this, if you have a financial planner, back in 2010, you remember when they sat you down and they said, well, hey, the law has just changed. And back in 2010, they changed it to where you could do a Roth conversion at any age. You could convert any amount, and you could do it regardless of your income. So if you've been working with a financial planner since 2010, you've already done all that, and you probably don't have anything tax deferred. Although I will tell you, there's a little bit of a conflict of interest. Shaun, most financial advisors never talk to their clients about Roth conversions, which is one of the most basic strategies for tax planning, because most financial advisors aren't getting any compensation for doing a Roth conversion, just about all of them. And actually, I tell folks, every time we do a Roth conversion, the less I make. Because we're going to send a little bit of money to the IRS, but you're going to have a tax-free account that grows tax-free the rest of your life, and it'll leave a tax-free legacy rather than a tax-deferred legacy, leaving your taxes to your grandkids.
It's so important to understand that. And you know, the other thing that goes by the wayside is how important the big beautiful bill was, because it gives you more control over more of your money. This gets lost in translation to so many people. You don't have to like anybody to want your own money. I think the big beautiful bill, the benefits of it were not explained properly. The benefits to not just growing your company, should you have one, but growing your own wealth by diverting some of that into your retirement. There's tremendous benefits to that never gets talked about. So you have to go through the big beautiful bill and understand every aspect of how advantageous it is to have that bill as a law, isn't it?
Right. There are a couple of misconceptions about the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. One of them is that folks still think that it means your Social Security is free from federal income taxes. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act, as it was passed and signed into law, did not say your Social Security is free from federal income tax. You can still find yourself with up to 85% of your Social Security federally taxed in retirement when you're not even working.
Think about how ridiculous. I'm going to cite that is beyond ridiculous. First of all, there is no fund that's not your money. It's not like they came to you and they said, open up an account. They stole the fracking money at the minute they took it from you. Your employer gave money, they stole that fracking money. Then they're going to create debt to give you what they say is your Social Security. Then they tax the money they gave you.
Double taxation.
It's the Enron. This is Enron. It's a fracking scam.
If the government does it, it's legal.
Oh, I don't know why these Vikings, if they wouldn't have brought back religion, we'd be taking over everything. This is outrageous that people aren't lighting the torches. The Social Security is a financial crime. And the best part about structuring your retirement in a good fashion, you don't give a rip if they cheat you. Is there any benefit to saying to the government, I just want what I put in, what you say I put in. I don't want anything. You can't do that, though, can you?
Well, there is no lockbox. Remember Al Gore with the lockbox? It doesn't exist.
Al Gore.
There's just a bunch of IOUs. And I taught a workshop one time at Oakton College in Des Plaines years ago, and it was a crowd of everybody, Democrat, Republican, everybody. And I said, you know, there is no lockbox, there is no trust fund. It's a box full of IOUs. And this lady got all mad. She wrote this big diatribe on her paper. She handed me this paper at the end of the class as if I were going to give her extra credit. But she was all mad. She goes, no, it's backed by U.S. Treasuries. And I said, yeah, it's a box full of IOUs.
Yeah.
Here's a shoebox of promises.
And then that was before they used the term monetized debt, which means they make up buyers for the treasuries that they can't sell. So when you really look at it, it is why you need to fend for yourself, because ultimately they sold a lie to people. And it was people, they took advantage of their patriotism. They took advantage of their naivete of understanding what a swindle it always was and what a tax it was. And they hope you never collect it, which is why they make it very difficult for you to get it. And they only pay out, if they're lucky, a little more than 40% ever collect it, because most people die prior. The nice thing about what you do is you leave it to your kids because it's always your money. That's the greatest benefit of it. That's why no one should ever participate in the scam of Social Security, and that's why the government made it mandatory. You can't even get away from it. The rats. Rats!
They'll send you to prison, Shaun.
I'm a terrible slave. Scott Tucker, your company is about being a terrible slave. You want everybody who's a terrible slave, don't you?
Yeah, well, I've got there a free copy of my latest book, Escape Illinois, Should I Stay or Should I Go? And for folks
I know the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
If you want to get a free copy of my latest book, Escape Illinois, Should I Stay or Should I Go? You can just go to retirementdecoded.com. At retirementdecoded.com to send in your information. We'll get you a free copy of that book. We have another book that's coming out. It's going to be actually in July, we'll be giving away free copies of that. But Shaun, there's a free pre-publication copy for you there, Illinois Grave Robbers.
I love this.
That's about the Illinois estate tax. So in Illinois, there's a threshold.
You think the dailies are worried about this? You think the empire that built the mafia in Chicago is worried about their tax after death, their estate tax, or you think they're structured properly?
Well, let's talk about the Pricksters. They've worked around it with South Dakota Dynasty Trust and Cook Islands Trust and all these sorts of things. There are ways, if you're already at $4 million or above, and you're worried about the Illinois estate tax, there are ways to work around it without even leaving Illinois. You could use the South Dakota Dynasty Trust. We could also use other irrevocable trusts, Cook Islands Trust and things, to not only seek to eliminate or reduce the impact of the federal estate tax, but get off the grid with the state of Illinois.
Now, I don't remember what the results were, the ramification of Penny, less than attractive woman, forgetting to put $134 million on her tax return. 80 from consulting and another 54 from consulting. But I believe there was no audit. So when you go to these offshore Bahamian trusts, does my money have to touch Pritzker money? Because I don't want to be near Pritzker money. I don't want my money touching their money. I want nothing to do with the Pritzkers. I don't want to ever look like a Flintstone either.
No, we can partition it, Shaun.
All right.
So you could be an Illinois resident, for instance, not your case, but you could be an Illinois resident, never have to leave Illinois. We can use a South Dakota Dynasty Trust, where a South Dakota Dynasty Trust never dies. So we have some folks who want to leave. They want to leave money to several generations in the future. Well, you can't do that with an Illinois trust. Also, you can legally take money offshore to Cook Islands. Cook Islands Trust, it costs about $25,000 to set it up. I'm not an attorney, but we can help you with that. And you actually have to make some legal filings with the IRS to make the Cook Islands Trust legal. And this is stuff the Pritzkers are doing.
Now, you know what I love about it? So we're going to go to South Dakota to save your money. We're going to go to the Cook Islands. We're going to go to the Bahamas. And everybody's related to Delaware. Joe Biden, that rat bastard, represents a state that was created for tax evasion, for tax cheating, for no corporations pay tax. He's going to raise the tax on everybody. Where is the safe tax haven in Illinois? I guess we circumvented to the back of your book of Illinois. I'd like to go to the Illinois Tax Trust. What is that like? You give them all your money and they let you live on the street and become a crackhead.
Natalie and I live in Mount Prospect, not too fancy a house. Our property taxes now are $19,000 a year for the privilege of not sending our kids to Prospect High School. So it's like, it's like
you're paying taxes, and it's a prison where my kid has a very high probability of being raped in the bathroom, ended up a crackhead. I'm not going to send him to public school. It's a real system of should I go or should I stay. It's thin. And I'm surprised it took you more than 4 pages.
Well,
very good. I like it.
Well, it's Escape Illinois, should I stay or should I go? I mean, it only takes so many pages.
Exactly.
Right?
First 2 pages are directions. And that's the other thing that's very interesting. People have to understand you may be anchored because of love and affection. You may be. And many of my friends in this room, I've got friends and family. They're not going to go. They can't go. Who wants to see the grandkids? Who wants to see their sister with the bad attitude and the limp? I understand it. But you should structure your assets so your kids never have to feel that way. You might be too old. You might be too unsure of yourself. But make certain your kids or grandkids don't have to do it. That's really the importance of contacting an investment advisor, of contacting somebody with financial solutions for the future. Because you should. One thing you could say about Abe, I don't have a lot of things to say about him, but at least he set up his family. I mean, if you're really related to this Pritzkers, you got shortchanged on the looks. However, you got a pair of 2s on the looks, but you really came out with aces on the money. So you could set it up for your grandkids you might not even know, or your great-grandkids. And that's what people do. Because rather than pay taxes, if you've got some money, give it away. Right?
Yeah, you can set up, if you want to help the future generations, you can do that. In the Escape Illinois book, one of the things we talk about is if you're not going to leave, because I'm not telling you to stay or to go, but if you're not going to leave, let's at least save you on your federal income taxes, because a lot of folks don't realize all of your IRA, 401k, 403b, deferred comp, TSP, all that money, you've never paid federal income tax on any of it. And you can't even move to Florida and get out of that trick bag. So we have clients in Florida, and we help them seek to minimize their federal income taxes if they're down there, or if people want to stay in Illinois, let's at least get your federal income taxes cut in half over the rest of your life.
And you drive out and you see how beautiful Pingree, it really is. It's beautiful the way out here, Union, where Donley is. And you look at these families, generations of busting their ass, taxes on top of taxes, paying for property they paid for generations ago. How advantageous it could be to just make the call and offset some of the liability, some of the expense, and explore just what's in there. You owe it to yourself to do it, because if you don't do it, the government hopes you don't do it. You know, most people don't realize you die intestate in a Democrat mafia state, they're not going to look for your relatives. They're looking to take your money. That's the grave robbers.
We have probably the majority of our clients are in Cook County.
Oh.
And in Cook County, a probate right now is taking 14 months to settle. And even
well, the judges are busy. They got lunch with their side broad. There's a lot of stuff to blow money on if you're a judge in Cook County, and you don't have to work or do anything.
Yeah, they're taking 14 months to settle a probate in Cook County, and even on a very modest estate, it's $5,000 in costs. Because so what do they tell you? So what do they tell you? The solution is get a trust for $3,500 to $4,000, so you don't have to pay the $5,000.
Yeah.
But which actually is a better plan, not legal advice, however.
Listen, I've got all my family here who I really loved. And it's become so corrupt and so dishonest and so much of a Soviet system. Is there any tax advantage to me going there with my SUV, digging them up and taking their corpses down to Florida? Can I at least save some taxes in the future, or get them to stop voting Democrat for the rest of eternity?
Well, Shaun, if you're concerned about the Illinois estate tax, what you'd have to do is not leave drag marks when your family passes.
Oh, my
Get them in the Suburban, truck them down there, and then get a death certificate in Florida. We'll try to establish that they're a Florida resident, not an Illinois resident.
Yeah, and you know the best part, it really makes me chuckle. Who is the guy that raised 27 new taxes on Illinoisans? The guy who never paid any. The guy who used his political clout and his grandfather's money to bribe, to not only buy a mansion he didn't want anybody to be his next door neighbor in, but to bribe one of these half-ass, short-in-the-pants law firms to pretend they tore the toilets out, to lower the taxes to a fraction. And this rat bastard is the guy raising taxes. You got to hate yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't, you call Scott Tucker.
That's right.
You didn't think I could put a bow on that, did you?
Yeah,
you were wrong.
You get on our phone calendar for free right now at tuckerretirement.com. At tuckerretirement.com, see our phone calendar, click and pick a time that works for you.
Now, did you make these books so that if someone reads it and they realize just how screwed they are, if they throw them, is the book is it damage proof? Is there any rubber in the? It feels like it's a sturdy cover. It feels like I could throw it far.
Yeah, you could throw it far. You could hurt somebody.
There you go. I like it. All right, very good. Well, Scott Tucker, I can't thank you enough for being a part of the station and the show. But more importantly, you know, I love the idea that you're helping people keep their own money, which is something every American needs to do. You need to educate yourselves. You need to make all the effort you can to do it. So I really appreciate you doing it. Oh, you want to wait, we got a call. Hold on now. Does you want to ask Scott a question? Oh, here, look at you. You got a caller. Here we go. It's not Amy Jacobson, so don't get too excited.
So Rick says he listens to Scott and Amy every Sunday morning. He's in Des Plaines. Rick in Des Plaines. Say hello.
Now, Rick, are you related to or on the recipient of any funds from Amy or Scott? Because I'd like to disclose that to the audience.
Do not, but I do love listening to the program, and
All right, fair enough.
Recorded, so I just wanted to say hello, Scott Tucker.
Hello, Scott Tucker.
Look at that. That's what you want, a financial advisor that takes instructions like that.
That's right.
Boom. There you go. Save me money, Scott Tucker, is what you should be saying.
Guys, man, this is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick, for calling. I appreciate it. So, let's do market. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Rick listens to the show with myself and Amy Jacobson every Sunday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on AM 560.
Yeah, I got you. I love it. I'd love to know how Amy is just shocked by the content that you're giving her every day. Does she take an aspirin before or after the show normally?
Oh, during.
During. I can't get Mark, Honey Bunny. You want to get him for me? All right, we can't get Mark. All right, well, listen. We will go to break. We can't go. We're going to go over break. All right. We're live on location at Goebert's in Pin Gree Grove. Do you love it here?
Oh, it's great.
Isn't it amazing what they did here?
Yeah, it'd be hard to. It's actually hard to describe on the radio. It's like a big glass barn almost.
It's absolutely fantastic. You know what it is? It's farmy chic. Farmy chic. Put that on a sign. I'm not going to charge anybody. All right, we got Mark. Mark, Oak Lawn.
Hey, Shaun. Thanks for taking my call. How you doing, Scott?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. You know, Shaun, is Pritzker, with Trump and the gas tax, so we're paying a lot of money for gas, but I know he's trying, and hopefully I don't mind paying it because I know he's trying to do some good. He's trying to eliminate that nuclear threat from Iran, but, you know, Pudsley talking about all the Trump is this. You know, he's raising taxes on everybody, blah blah blah. But that badass, you know, you think he'd lower the taxes on the state of Illinois? You know,
well, you know, Mark, you bring up
between Indiana and Illinois.
Well, the most important part of what you bring up is only in Illinois are you paying this cost. You could go to any state around and it's $1 cheaper, $1.30 cheaper. And you know, when it comes to Pritzker cheating on his own taxes, I'd like to make him a wager. I'll let you take the write-off. Give him the money back if you can take the toilet out yourself. I want to see his big fat ass with the plumber's crack bend over. And Lefty Lucy, hey Fetzo, Lefty Lucy, now use your legs when you're trying to lift the commode. Never did a day's work in his life, the rat bastard. I love it, Mark. Thanks for the question.
Shaun, do you think that Jibbs eats donuts in the toilet?
Oh, I tell you what, I think he has a slave follow him around with the donut holes. He doesn't want to waste his time chewing a donut. They just throw the holes in his mouth like a seal. I thank you enough for making time and coming out and helping the people. Really, Scott, one more time, give a plug to your website where they can get everything.
Yeah, you get a free copy of my latest book, Escape Illinois, Should I Stay or Should I Go, at retirementdecoded.com. You can get it on our phone calendar at 560retirement.com.
Scott, thank you very much. When we get back, we'll take your calls, 312-642-5600. We'll be back soon.
What if everything you've been told about government, health care, poverty, energy, and even science is a carefully constructed lie? In Shaun Thompson's new book, What If It's All a Lie? Shaun Thompson dismantles the myths at the core of modern America. This is the book the ruling class doesn't want you to read. And once you do, you won't see the world the same way again. Order your copy today at ShaunThompsonShow.com/book.
I'm attorney Stephen Leahy. If you're a business owner with unfiled tax returns, tax season is not your friend. This is when the IRS turns up the heat. They match 1099s. They review payroll filings. They compare bank deposits. And when returns are missing, they don't send you a warning. They take action. Penalties stack up fast. Liens become public. Bank levies can drain your account. I see it every year. Good business owners who waited too long, not because they're crooks, but because they were overwhelmed. Let me be clear, hiding makes it worse. Action makes it fixable. I help business owners get compliant, file what's missing, and negotiate from a position of strength, not fear. Don't wait for the next certified letter. Don't wait for a levy. Go to fightbacknow.com and sign up for my daily email. I'll tell you exactly what to do next, step by step. Or call me right now at 312-664-6649. Act now before the IRS acts first.
Did you know most remodeling mishaps start before construction even begins? Here's something else you should know. At Forever Remodeling, we do things differently. Every kitchen, bathroom, and basement project starts with smart planning, detailed 3D designs, a clear scope of work, and accurate pricing, all sorted out before you get started. No surprises, no stress, just beautiful results. Done right the first time. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, EVER, remodeling.com. And schedule your free in-home consultation today.
When the seasons shift, you need a heating and cooling team you can trust to keep your home just right. That's where Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, the original, comes in. This family-owned gem has been a local favorite for more than 45 years, sending only their own top-notch, highly trained technicians to your door. Whether it's a quick repair, a full installation, or anything in between, their work is unmatched, and their customer service feels like family. Keeping you cozy in the winter and cool in the summer, Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling delivers comfort you can count on. I've known Garrett and his family for years, and they are great friends of AM 560. Dial 847-545-1700 or visit arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. Mention AM 560 and enjoy 20% off your first service call. Again, go to arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, not the biggest, but absolutely the best.
You smell that? Spring. Hibernation's over. It's time to run it. Run it until the grass becomes lawn and the hedges duck and cover. Then, run it again. Steel, get up to $50 off select AK battery tool sets. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
I know it's a tease. You got to hit the button. By the way, that's not Squirrel that didn't hit the button. That's the big boss of all bosses. He put the it in IT. When we get back, 312-642-5600. I'm going to take your calls and comments. And I see somebody on the line in Campton Hills. Namaste. Campton Hills is like right around the corner from Pingree Grove. What the hell are you doing? You want me to send a bicycle? 312-642-5600. I'll take your calls after Jim from Campton Hills.
Good evening, Shaun. Some clouds with a low of 52 tonight. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. President Trump speaking to reporters outside the construction zone for the White House ballroom on Tuesday, where he discussed the ongoing negotiations with Iran.
We were going to be striking it would have been happening right now. Yeah, it was all done. The boats, the ships are all loaded. They're loaded to the brim, and we're all set to start.
Iran continuing to demand the removal of U.S. soldiers from the region. The NTSB holding an investigative hearing into the deadly UPS cargo plane crash in Louisville last year that killed 15. 6 states holding primary elections today for the U.S. House, Senate, and governor. Charges pending after a suspect was taken into custody in a deadly stabbing in the Norwood Park neighborhood of Chicago Monday night. And funeral arrangements have been made for a Chicago firefighter who died while suffering a medical emergency during a training incident. Visitation for Steve Decker's honor begins Thursday. Sox and Mariners tonight, Cubs in Milwaukee. The news service of Fox Valley Coins. It's a great time to bring in your scrap gold jewelry and sterling flatware. Cash or check offered on the spot, foxvalleycoins.com. Your next news update is at 6. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. Now with an update from the AM 560 Traffic Center, here is Jill Urchek.
On the Kennedy, out to O'Hare from the Janeburn interchange. That's a busy one at 55 minutes. Spur eastbound still jammed Spur to Montrose. Inbound side jammed at 48 minutes as well. Eisenhower 1 hour 15, post office to 390. Stevenson going out to 355 from DuSable Lakeshore Drive, 55 minutes. Outbound Dan Ryan, 35 minutes with an accident reported at 95th. A little tight in the express, not too bad though. We're also seeing tie-ups with roadwork outbound Ford, 115th down to 159th. Solid on DuSable Lakeshore Drive and the Tri-State either way. Northbound, a stalled semi on the exit ramp at 176 blocking the left lane, but all the tollways are busy. This report is a service of the AM 560 Advantage. Membership has its privileges, including early access to event tickets, exclusive contest opportunities, and special members-only content. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will bring mostly cloudy skies and cooler temperatures with a low of 52. As we move into Wednesday, expect cloudy conditions in the morning, transitioning to a mix of clouds and sunshine in the afternoon, along with breezy winds. It'll be less humid with a high of 58. Wednesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 46. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Amazon Business. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Platform safety is critical at your commercial and industrial facility. Keeping people safe and meeting OSHA requirements isn't optional. That's why Vans Industrial offers free platform inspections by professional structural engineers who know exactly what to look for. Problems with platforms, ladders, or stairs can lead to costly fines or worse. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to protect people in your facility.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. With decades of experience, I bring long-standing industry knowledge from inspecting, correcting, and replacing countless platforms to make facilities safer. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor equipped to modify or replace steel catwalks, handrails, stairways, and ladders. Our union building trades professionals fabricate and install high-quality steel systems that create safer work environments.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free platform inspection by professional structural engineers. See what else we can do for you. Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Vintage toys or model trains in the attic? Sell them for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Now, I took mine yesterday. All right. And I'm so glad you brought one. And I made you crack it open.
That's right, just for you, Shaun.
I'm sure somebody's going to pay for that, but it is not going to be me.
No, that's
this radio. There, look at this radio gig ain't paying that much. However, Virago is really I love the product because I love what you did and why you created it. And then it was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years ago, we were at a smoker. I was freezing my ass off. Larry Elder was there. It was one of those lovely spring times in Chicago. It was like 42 degrees. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And all of a sudden, my head was killing me. I wasn't feeling good. I was losing the voice. And you brought this over, and I think I drank a third of the bottle. I felt better, and I've been on it ever since. Virago, Dr. Michael Huber. You tell the rest of the story. I'm going to do a shot.
You go ahead, do a shot. That's Virago, the immune enhancement cocktail. Boosts your immune system. But
yeah.
It also protects.
Got a little banana in it. I'm tasting banana now.
There's
Maybe
no
it's the
banana.
Cigar. Stuck a banana in there.
Some people say cherry. Some people say cherry bananas, you know, but they're not in, no cherries and no bananas.
Yeah.
Just a mystery, you know.
It's really amazing. Well, it's the 23
natural ingredients that work synergistically. Each one has its own property, but when you put them together, you get this synergistic boom that makes it work even better. And that's why I designed it that way. And I designed it as a liquid because it's important for absorption. And it's your bitter taste receptors are your first defense in your body. That's where your immune system starts. By stimulating that with the flavor, it starts your immune system.
Now, I'm pretty sure my hair is thicker as a result. Have you done any testing?
Well, it looks better.
All right, good. I'm just painting my bald spot, as Squirrel always makes fun of me. But one of the things you were telling me is how many people are using it in the field. And you know, it's interesting. I smoke a lot of cigars, and I love smoking cigars, but you also worry about your mouth, right? You worry about your teeth. So when you first introduced me to it, you were telling me about a dentist that was making his patients swirl with it. Do you know that's how I do it? I swirl.
Yeah, it protects your gums from periodontal disease. It really kills all the little, what they call the red 3 bacteria that are dominant in periodontal disease. Virago wipes it out.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, you know, I'm surprised I have any teeth in my head between the cigars and the punches in the face. But, you know, I really do feel when you do that, you feel it. You feel your
gums.
Can
feel, you can feel the tingle.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I love the product.
It works well, and not only that, if you're a diabetic or you have hypertension, those two diseases are chronic inflammatory diseases. Even though
arthritis.
Yeah, and arthritis. Virago protects the organ damage that you get from high blood pressure, protects the kidneys, protects your heart, and if you're hypertensive and the kidneys are always destroyed with hypertension, it protects the little cells called the podocytes in your kidneys from being damaged, and protects your heart from damage of diabetes and from hypertension.
Well, what's interesting is it's a relatively new company.
Yeah.
I mean, you introduced it to me 2 years ago, but you didn't start working on it till COVID, right?
When the Delta virus, that real bad one, the first strain that came through.
I forgot track of my lies and fear-mongering. Was Delta 1 or 2 or 3?
Yeah. But Delta hit everybody pretty hard because nobody had an immunity to it, and it was a lab design. It was a bioweapon.
Of course it was. That little bastard Fauci financed it. He created a bioweapon, and Virago kicked its ass. Well, I kicked its ass
Virago really kicked its ass. And it works. Like
you should really change the slogan. Virago kick COVID's ass with a finger to Fauci. You want me to work on that design?
I love that one.
All right, I think it's so.
You know, it was the people were taking ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine with the Virago, and my patients never went to the hospital. My patients didn't die, and it was very effective even without ivermectin and hydroxy. This kills viruses in 5 different ways. Ivermectin and hydroxy have 2 ways.
So I've got a cut on my board, and it's Bakari, who just quit. He was in Trump's team for the FDA. And he made a startling confession. I'll find it. It's a little hard. We're doing this now. But he made a startling confession of how the government covered up the death after the vaccine among kids.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And if you were forced to take vaccine, listen, there are tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people that took it because they were forced to. Does this do anything to combat the
vaccine?
The vaccine, the spike protein, the mRNA bull dung. I wouldn't go near that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, what we have in there is bromelain. Bromelain eats spike up. It digests it.
So you could put on there, and it kicks mRNA's ass too.
Yeah, and not only that, see,
new label. Get your advertiser on the line.
The quercetin on there binds to the receptor binder domain on the spike and makes it unavailable to bind to your cells. So we got two things that kill spike: the bromelain and the quercetin, and actually a couple of them, leolotin and the other things that work against spike. Spike is a bad thing. Spike is what really makes you sick, not the virus. The virus is the delivery vehicle. It's like the missile, then the spike is the warhead.
Very aggravating circumstance we lived through for the last 5 years. However, the silver lining in all the abuses, it created some new products, some people like you who came up with new solutions, and it really developed into a nice little answer to so many problems. I have to tell you, I'm back and forth. I hate it, right? But I do it because I love to come to these events and the people. But, when you're getting on that plane, you're on that tube, I'm not a guy that takes a lot of pills. I don't take anything. This is what I take. And so far, so good. The 2 years since I've been taking it, you could count on your hands how many times I've had a sick day. First of all, I don't think I've ever taken one for a station, but feel sick. Every once in a while I get the usual headache, but it's normally after I talk to somebody I'm related to who has a bill that needs to be paid.
Well, if you feel even a little bit, double the dose and it's gone within hours. If you have a cold sore, on your tongue, you hold it on there.
I'm married for 27 years. I don't get a cold sore anymore. Those days
if you
are
hold
over.
it on your tongue there for a while,
for decades,
within 4 or 5 hours, the cold sore will be gone. That's how effective it is against the virus.
Now we found a new area, strippers. If you don't want a cold sore from a stripper, bring in a bottle of Virago.
There you go.
I'll tell you that the advertising writes itself. It really
there we
does.
go.
Well, Dr. Huber, I love the fact you did it. Where's the best place for everybody to go and check out Virago? And I can't help but notice in the yellow, did you up the percentage off of Virago today?
I tell you, today for the 560 listeners, we're giving you, if you use the code CIGAR40, the listeners get 40% off rather than 30.
Now listen here, it says 45.
That's for people here today at the people who come in. People who come in get a little bit more.
Nice.
The people who are listening at home.
You were talking to Scott or E.J. Antoni, one of the financial guys. I like the way you work this out.
Yeah. The people here are getting 45% off today.
Wow.
That's unheard of. We've never done that before, but because of Shaun and Cigar Fest, we're doing that.
Yes, this is great. And our girl here who I love to death, Amy, she's our advertising girl. I have a skincare company. When she bought my skincare, ask her how much I gave her off. Nothing. You'll get nothing off. You pay top dollar for it. I love what you're doing here.
And the listeners today, between now and Sunday, you get 40% off if you use CIGAR40. CIGAR40 for your promo code. Till Sunday, you get 40% off rather than 30.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, just for Cigar Fest and Shaun, because Shaun does such a great job on the radio.
Well, listen,
he's a great American. He does so much for us.
You sell out as many as you have to give me the free bottles. Let's not get crazy now. Don't be taking a haircut here. I don't want to get a tab. Anyway, I love what you do, and I love the product. It's kept the teeth in my head. Put that on the list. I've given you this for free.
Shaun's teeth. I'm going to put that on the website. We save Shaun's teeth.
I absolutely agree to it. Thanks again for coming out and for supporting all of us and introducing this.
Thank you to the 560 listeners. They're fantastic.
Absolutely. It's filling up nicely. It's not too late to come out to Goebert's in Pingree Grove. Get 45% off a bottle of Virago in person.
In person, and 40%. If you go to the website and you're at home listening.
Give the website one more time.
Till Sunday. myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com.
312-642-5600. This time I promise when we get back from commercial, I'll take your calls.
Broadcasting from the petri dish of corruption known as the state of Illinois.
In the upper Midwest, the nation, and around the world.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560.
The Answer.
If you're considering investing in precious metals, don't wait. The Iranian conflict seems to be nearing an end, and the time is now to position your retirement for massive growth. Advantage Gold is America's #1 precious metals company, and they want to send you a free gold and silver investor guide valued at $49 when you call 800-900-8000. Plus, you'll get a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Our specialists can help you open a new account or transfer funds from an existing IRA, tax and penalty-free, and show you how a gold-backed IRA can put real, tangible assets into your retirement portfolio. Markets react to news cycles, but gold has maintained its value through inflation, volatility, and economic uncertainty. When the purchasing power of the dollar declines, that's when investors turn to gold and silver. Make your move now. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Results may vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
You know what really keeps me up at night? It's the criminals feel more and more bold. They have no fear of any consequences because there are none. So I did what anyone with a family should do. I called Goldilocks. They're not just some cookie-cutter security company. Goldilocks has been protecting Chicagoland homes and businesses for 4 decades, 40 years. And they actually listen. Their technician comes out to the house. He takes a look at what you need to make your house a smart home with a security system you can monitor from anywhere. It's built specifically for me and my family. Motion sensors, smart locks, cameras, monitoring, all customized. I don't trust anybody in Illinois to protect my family. I do it, and I did it by calling Goldilocks. I trust Goldilocks to keep my house, my property, and my family safe. Tell them Shaun Thompson sent you, and Goldilocks will include 3 months free monitoring with any new installation. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Or visit them online at GoldilocksInc.com.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878. AM 560.
The Answer.
The night of the smoker, I love it. This has changed my smoking habits, not at all. I think I'm smoking less. If you're in the area, Pingree Grove, Goebert's Farm, it's the place to be. Pat and Lauren are here. Pat should get his money back from the health club. I think he gained 30 pounds. Yeah, it's muscle. Sure it is. Jim, Campton Hills.
Shaun, it's so nice to hear you. We're going to be there in a few minutes, but I did find out something I didn't know. You know, our beloved governor has some relationships to the Kentucky Derby winner, to Golden Temple a couple of weeks ago. Apparently there were some Illinois connections. And they asked him, would you
is
like
he related to the Clydesdale?
No. Almost. They asked him, would you like to meet the governor of Illinois? And he said, no, I'm going to decline. And the reporter said, well, why? He said, well, if I wanted to see a horse's ass, I would have taken second place.
Oh, bum. You know, Jim, you know how bad Illinois is for taxes? Two of the 3 biggest video poker machine companies, they don't house their company in Illinois to avoid the taxes. Illinois is so bad that even the Pirates won't base their companies in Illinois. Thank you very much for the call, Jim. I appreciate it. 3-1. How much time do I got? This is the fastest show, even when we're on location. It's absolutely fantastic, filling up nicely. E.J. Antoni is here, and to see him in person, he really does look like a young Basil Rathbone, handsome son of a gun. He's going to be on stage. We got Alex Marlowe. Dan Proft should be strutting in, and he's not going to look half as good as E.J. Antoni, although he'll have a vest on too. His will be a sweater vest. As it's getting a little chilly here at night for the Floridians, the good news is it's interesting that we still get to do a show. And the thing I want to talk about is I had all these clips, and what you have to understand, it's not just Illinois, but it is every Democrat enclave fraud is run the same thing, the same way.
The Armenian mafia in Los Angeles was sentenced to 40 years in prison for his role in a $1 billion scheme to rip off American taxpayers. Levon Termanzian, also known as the Lion, was convicted of conspiring.
It's a $1 billion scheme. in renewable fuel. So when we talk about Illinois and why you pay $1.30 a gallon, more than I do in Florida, it's this bulldung scam. At least in LA, they caught the Armenian mafia. I'll tell you what, it's got a little cachet, Armenian mafia. Our mafia is just little short Irish guys that can't satisfy their wives.
With members of a polygamous sect in Utah known as the Order in one of the most audacious tax frauds in history. Levon was a Bel Air billionaire and gas station tycoon when he joined forces with members of the polygamous Kingston clan. Jacob Kingston took a plea deal and testified against Levon, telling jurors they had more money than they could launder, so they started buying Lamborghinis, Bugattis, private jets, yachts, and mansions in Turkey.
And all of this without any tax problems, like the waitress that listens to my show or the honest businessman that's paying 50 times the taxes he should on the way out to Pingree Grove in Illinois. It's amazing. Think of all of the headaches you would have avoided if you would have been an Armenian gangster with temporary citizenship who stole $1 billion fracking dollars and cut in a Democrat. Gee, it's real hard to figure you scoundrels out, isn't it? Who ever heard of a solar farm in New York?
Miles and miles of solar panels, as far as the eye can see.
The price of progress? Maybe. But can they put a solar farm next door to you? Definitely.
We knew it was coming, and there was nothing that we could do.
They can set aside any local laws, local moratoriums, local zoning. They can set it aside and put a site where they want to put it.
The dirty secret behind clean energy and whether or not you'll ever see a dent in your power bill. The State of Solar, a News 10 Investigates special report.
I'm playing you the solar, I'm playing you the renewable energy or the renewable fuel credits, because every one of these is a scam that Democrats made available to other scam artists. And it happens on the Republican side too. Like for instance, Utah's Speaker of the House pulling a Denny Hassert, buying up land where he knows he could sell it at a 1,000-time markup.
So after Kevin O'Leary went on Fox News to accuse us of being operatives for the Chinese government, we did not back down on the data center. In fact, we actually dug in more. So today's fresh hill is that Utah Speaker of the House Mike Schultz owns 600 acres near the Stratos project site. As one normally does, we were scrolling around looking at the parcels of land that are right around the proposed data center. And wouldn't you know it, we happened upon a little parcel of land with the owner name being labeled as Mike Schultz Inc. And it doesn't take an investigative journalist to find that it is in fact owned by the Utah Speaker of the House, Mike Schultz. And these two combined parcels of land total up to about 640 acres. And that 640 acres is just about 3 miles away from the Stratos project site, right next to the freeway interchange. Huh, that's a coincidence.
So like any normal person does, you go to the Box Elder County Recorder's office and you pay $1.50 and you can get the deed for that land. And wouldn't you know it, but this piece of property, Mike Schultz bought on January 3rd of 2025. And then to put the cherry on top, all of this land he bought for, quote, $10 and other good and valuable considerations.
It's a great scam if you're in on it. Bought the land, his lag time is 90 days before its value increases 600%. You must think you're a Democrat in a Democrat-run area.
Potential corruption inside of one of America's deepest, bluest cities. Baltimore's Inspector General is accusing Democratic Mayor Brandon Scott of using a city-run youth program for fraud. We're talking about $50,000 on crab cakes and chicken wings.
Crab cakes and chicken wings. I love when Juicy Crab comes to town. We'll be back.
Hey, if you're living with joint pain, listen up. I want you to try something different. You don't have to live in pain every day. Have a conversation with my friends at QC Kinetics and tell them I sent you when you do. They offer all-natural regenerative treatments for joint pain. I've seen the results and personally recommend Dr. Caravelli and her team. Stop saying to yourself, this is just how I am now. That's not okay. Get back to the normal you, the one who is active and carefree. QC Kinetics is helping AM 560 listeners with pain from arthritis or injury in their knees, hips, and shoulders. Now they're moving again, golfing and running without surgery or long recovery. The science is real. The treatments are natural. Your body knows how to heal. QC Kinetics will show you how without surgery. Don't watch summer pass you by again, stuck on your couch, afraid to move. Take action today. Schedule an appointment right now. Consultations are free. Call 312-827-6261. That number again, 312-827-6261. Call QC Kinetics at 312-827-6261.
If moving safely around your home is a concern, you deserve clear answers, not a sales pitch.
Access will help you improve home accessibility with practical solutions like lifts, grab bars, and home modifications. Designed to fit your home, your needs, and budget. Experienced professionals will take the time to explain your options so you can make an informed decision. If staying safe and comfortable in your home matters to you, start with a free in-home consultation. Call Access at 630-616-6249 or visit allaboutaccess.com.
President Trump has triggered a $200 billion tech disruption, and Wall Street is asleep at the switch. This $200 billion investment in chip technology could make today's artificial intelligence chips obsolete. Technology that will make today's AI data centers a thing of the past, like IBM's old mainframes. While most investors are focused on old-fashioned AI, there are 3 companies quietly building a $1 trillion triangle that could transform every tech sector on Earth. These 3 companies are gearing up to develop and manufacture supercomputers the size of a dinner plate. Institutions like Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street are pouring more than $200 billion into this AI revolution. Investment guru George Gilder has been predicting tech revolutions for more than 40 years, including the iPhone, Netflix, and Amazon. Now he's got his finger on 3 companies whose technology will change tech forever. Log on to TrillionDollarTriangle.com to find out which 3 companies are working on what could be the biggest tech disruption since the internet. TrillionDollarTriangle.com. That's TrillionDollarTriangle.com.
Hey, business owners, is your business and money in good hands? Does your bank invest in your success? Hi, Mike Gallagher here, letting you know that when you need a relationship bank, Signature Bank makes commercial banking personal. I love these guys. Not only do they have expansive industry experience, a strong financial track record, but they're also highly capitalized for strategic growth. That's so important. That's why Signature Bank is my bank. They know what it means to grow a business by designing solutions that are right for you and only you. These are real people. They're ready to help. So reach out to my friends at Signature Bank. Make the call today, 773-467-5630, 773-467-5630, or visit them online at signaturebank.bank. That's signaturebank.bank. Your business could be Signature Bank's next success story. Go online, signaturebank.bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Signature Bank.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
No one will take the bet that $5 Squirrel does not have pants on. There's nobody in the studio. He has no pants on. Everybody's here. Pingree Grove, Goebert's Farm. E.J. Antoni, looking like Basil Rathbone, handsome son of a gun. Live and in person. We've got E.J. Antoni, Doctor of Economics from Heritage, live right after Fox Weiser News.
Deal in the next few days. Vice President J.D. Vance reacting at the White House.
But I will not say with confidence that we're going to reach a deal until we're actually signing a negotiated settlement here. And I think that it's ultimately up to the Iranians whether they're willing to meet us.
President Trump says he called off a round of strikes at the request of several countries in the Middle East. Police are still investigating that shooting at the Islamic Center in San Diego yesterday as a hate crime after 2 teenage suspects opened fire, killed 3 people, including a security guard. San Diego Police Chief Scott Wall says that guard exchanged fire with the shooters, saving the lives of over 100 children inside the mosque.
His actions, without a doubt, delayed, distracted, and ultimately deterred these 2 individuals from gaining access.
The security guard identified as Amin Abdullah, father of 8. The mother of one of the suspects reported her son missing, as well as 3 guns. Police say hate speech was written on one of the weapons. President Trump's throwing his support behind a Republican challenger in a contested Texas Senate race. Here's Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House.
The president is boosting Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's bid to become the state's next senator. Paxton is challenging sitting Republican Senator John Cornyn in this month's GOP primary. In a social media post, President Trump says Paxton is tested at the highest and most difficult levels. The endorsement is a setback for Cornyn's reelection bid. The president says Cornyn is a good man, but was not supportive of me when times were tough. Whichever Republican advances in the primary will face Democrat state lawmaker James Tallarico in November's general election. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Jared, thank you. America's listening to Fox News.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Out to O'Hare on the Kennedy, 48 minutes from the Jane Byrne interchange outbound Edens. Still in pretty good shape. Eisenhower Post Office to 390. That is an hour and 10. And we're seeing delays on the outbound Stevenson 1 hour due Saba Lakeshore Drive out to 355. Dan Ryan, 30 minutes downtown to 95th. Outbound Ford, that snug 115th down to Sibley with road work. Very heavy along DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Either way, Tri-State also showing delays both directions. Jane Addams heavy westbound east looks good, but both directions of 355 in the Reagan are also busy. This report is a service of Salem Surround, a local digital marketing agency providing high-performing digital solutions to surround your target audience. Go to surroundchicago.com today. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be mostly cloudy and cooler with a low of 52. On Wednesday, expect cloudy skies in the morning, becoming breezy with a mix of clouds and sunshine in the afternoon. It will be less humid with a high of 58. Wednesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 46. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Born on America's darkest day, 9/11/01, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been helping American heroes ever since. Heroes like FDNY Lieutenant Edward J. McDonough Jr. McDonough served at Ground Zero. He later lost his life to a related cancer. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation was able to honor his sacrifice by paying off the family's mortgage. Donate $11 a month, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag.
Losers will never, ever accept winners. You understand that? So when you have an economy that is being turned back over to the people, it's called reprivatizing the economy, who's going to argue? All the scam artists who were in on the government spending. That's what Trump is doing, and that's why the media hates him. That's why the communists hate him, the socialists, the Marxists, and all the Democrats who aspire to be smart enough to be a Marxist, but they're really stupid. Except when it comes to getting away with stealing, then they're brilliant. How about the Somalians? 59. The whole Somalia, the average IQ is 59. My Boston Terrier was 62. And yet they all get away with stealing billions. E.J. Antoni is here, debonair. I knew that the vest was going to have lapels. Somewhere Prof owes me $5 because he's going to try and pull it off. He'll have a sweater vest on, but he's just going to look like that smart dog from the cartoon. You, on the other hand, a young Basil Rathbone, doctor of economics, E.J. Antoni. How are you, sexy?
Shaun, it is great to be here in person. We were just saying during the break, it's been probably 2-3 years since I've seen you in person.
You came over at the cigar store. I thought I was being audited. Kicked the door in. You were all dressed up with a tie on in a cigar store where we only watched movies and complained and never let a Democrat in. So that's how I knew it was going to be a good experience then, as it has been since then. How long have you been coming on my show? I mean, I was filling in. First time I had John, it's got to be 6-7 years.
I was just going to say, 4 or 5 years. It's been a while, and trust me, it's been a pleasure, Shaun.
Oh, well, listen, and we've been fighting the Leviathan. This is something you do when you understand the economics of a swindle and a scandal. And the problem with Americans, we thought the government was going to take care of its problem rather than understanding the government was the problem. And it's funny to watch how that's turned now to where some 33-year-old punk would almost try to make fun of Ronald Reagan's, I'm here from the government, or I'm from the government, I'm here to help you. And he's going to pretend that the American government is going to help you. Now, I'm offended because, not because he's making fun of Reagan. After all, we've watched that in real time. I watched that as a kid. But because he's trying to pretend that socialism, communism, and Marxism ends in a different way. It doesn't. It's always economic devastation. Why do we allow these kids who never worked, he lived with his mother. He went from his mother's house, never worked a day in his frat bastard life, to the mayor's mansion. And it really is a mansion. This is the problem. There are no qualifications needed to be elected. In fact, all you have to do is be a bulldog artist, don't you?
Yeah, but here's the problem. Their ideas sound good, right? They don't work. Trust me, they don't work. You know that, I know that. But they sound good. It's like, look what's happened with student loans and what they've done in the big, beautiful bill, where they actually put a cap in place on graduate loans. It was uncapped back in 2006 under Obama.
Yeah.
And so what happened once they removed the cap on student loans? The idea was, we're going to make graduate school more affordable. All these people are going to be able to go back and get degrees, and they can get better jobs, have higher incomes. What happened? All these colleges just simply raised the cost of attendance.
Sure.
And now what has happened with there being a cap put in place, courtesy of the big, beautiful bill? Now all of a sudden you have a bunch of degree programs that are magically coming in just under that cap.
Well, and what I think we need to do, and when I say we, I mean the anti-communist, the anti-Marxist, the anti-mafia Democrat, we have to explain that it's a chicken and egg scenario where the policy for theft is actually created by the same fairy tale swindler that tells you the lie. So it's the Mamdani government, it's the Obama government, it's the communist and Marxist in the position to craft the policy to be stolen where the acorn is born, where the problem occurs. Without the policy being created, the swindle couldn't happen. So really, to focus on the guy telling you it's going to be great, because he's crafting the policy to be stolen and profited, whether it's the free idea of student tuition or it's free groceries in New York. That grocery store will never not only be profitable, it's not intended to, it will be a vestibule of theft where they'll steal and increase the cost of all groceries 300%.
Right, and whether it's groceries, whether it's, I mean, look at some of the other things that Mamdani campaigned on and continues talking about, like childcare. Why is it groceries are more expensive in Manhattan? And obviously the other boroughs too, but why is it that's more expensive there? Why is it things like childcare are so expensive? It's all the additional regulations that New York City puts in place that other places simply don't have. And so you impose that additional cost onto business. They're forced to pass that cost on to consumers, and then the consumer wonders, why is everything so expensive? And the very people who put those programs in place, who put those regulations in place, the very people who caused your life to become more expensive, now have the audacity to say, well, I have a fix for this problem. It is nothing less than the arsonist playing fireman.
And we have the fix, and we're living through it. This is something that my show gives it attention. This station shows Alex Marlowe, Dan Proft, and everybody else gives it attention. But there is a certain beauty to what is happening. And what that is everybody is waking up. and everybody is understanding what's at stake, and the migration to the boom belt, the migration to the states that are not imposing income tax, from the totalitarian, corrupted, failed states. And what I think is going to happen, and I believe it's happening before our eyes, especially in New York, especially in Washington State, in Oregon, and California, and Illinois, I believe the convenience that capitalism brought, they will leave as well. It will not be long. It's not just the Walgreens that are closing because they're being robbed. It's not just the CVS's that are being consolidated. It's the Amazons. It's the convenience of mass capitalists. It's the Starbucks. It's the other things people believe that they're just there because they should be. Mm-hmm. They're going to migrate to the good states. I really see a business vacuum, or I believe these Marxists in Chicago came up with a new word, corporate abandonment. This is going to happen on turbocharge. As people realize, this is what I thought would happen the first Obama term. Capitalists should unite under principle. Atlas should be shrugging. They should be burning down the refineries when you see that Illinois makes $1.30 in taxes when the refiner makes 15 cents. Before I made the 15 cents and allowed the government to steal that kind of money, I'd burn the refinery down. You can do it with logistics, can't you?
Shaun, I think we're seeing it in real time, right? You are seeing that movement. It's not just a matter of people, individuals getting up and moving. They are taking their businesses with them. Again, we're seeing it, I think, in real time, and you're seeing these, let's call them what they are, these crime-ridden hellholes most of our cities have become. You are seeing countless businesses simply close their doors because there is no way to be profitable. How many Walgreens have had to close in inner cities in America where it wasn't enough to literally lock up every item in the inventory? They were still losing money because of theft. And look at something like the pending home sale data that we got today. So overall nationwide activity is down by about a quarter compared to 25 years ago. Think of that, a quarter of a century later and 25% less activity. The only region that hasn't seen a dramatic decline, it's the South. They're still down about 8 or 9%. But again, it's that boom belt that you're talking about. Even in a terrible real estate market, they're still at least getting by.
And what's fascinating is that when they give us these big numbers, these blanket numbers, like GDP, they don't break down. I mean, we do it because we're policy wonks and we're addicted to facts and truth. But they don't talk about the difference in the quality of growth of actual business and productivity in very Democrat mafia states like Illinois. Illinois' GDP, they're complaining about the country being at 3%, 3 change. Illinois is 1 if you're lucky. And the vast majority of any of that growth traces back to government spending. Private sectors do not grow in Democrat states, only government. And the spending is growth. It's the other good states that carry and drag along these suck-hole Democrat states. And this needs to be focused on, because the problem is you destroy the quality of life because you allow that lie to be told to good people in bad areas.
And Shaun, you raised such a great point with the distinction there between public and private jobs. And it's something that people, I think, really miss. It's a big reason why you got to drill down into these numbers. There are literally fewer private sector jobs in Illinois right now than there were right before the pandemic. I mean, here we are more than 6 years later, and the private sector in this state still hasn't recovered. So where has all the job growth come from? First of all, there hasn't even been much net job growth. Even if you include government jobs, the job level is basically flat over those 6 years. But again, if the private sector's down, that means any of the growth you have gotten on net had to have come from the public sector. It's just more government bureaucrats.
And when you look at COVID, now what we know, we knew it then. COVID was a bioweapon. COVID was financed by the American government. COVID was released on the world. But really, is that the scandal? Or is the scandal the money that followed? When you look at the kind of money that these states got, like Illinois, you're talking trillions of dollars, man, not billions. Not even hundreds of billions, because it came in hidden ways. It came not just in the ways up front that these corrupt states pretended was revenue, called themselves balanced. It came in backdoor ways of PPP loans, the government employees that have stolen the loans. Now you're getting an idea. Healthcare system that had been knuckled under and destroyed, 50% less hospitals and doctors. Yet when that money was handed out, Who reaped the rewards? Were the most corrupt states like Illinois and New York and California. Do we know, not just the Minnesota scandals and feeding our future and nonsense scandals, but do we know just the difference in money that was given to Democrat mafia bankrupt states versus the other states that really didn't need it, and most of them didn't shut down like Florida?
It was basically a wealth transfer of about $400 billion under the Biden administration. Just the first couple of COVID relief packages that they did, that was the disparity in terms of the government financing that was going to these blue states versus the red states. Literally $400 billion. And as time goes on, we keep finding out more and more and more of that money was exactly what you're saying, Shaun. It was nothing but fraud. It was all of these scams, whether it was PPP or whether it was unemployment insurance fraud. I mean, you name it, the list goes on and on. And again, it's as if every week or every month that goes by, they find, now that we're actually looking for it, yes, they continue to find more and more of these crazy abuses. But it literally was, again, it was a wealth transfer measured in the hundreds of billions of dollars. And frankly, it's a big reason why the economies in states like Illinois, like Massachusetts, like New York, have really lagged behind the national growth since COVID. You were literally paying all of these people not to work. You were paying businesses to stay shut down. Why is anyone surprised then that there was no productivity, that there was no growth?
Well, what else is fascinating? We say transfer of wealth, and it's a great way to pose it, right? But the old way to transfer the wealth was to take from taxpayers and give to tax takers, right? That was the old way. We've got this new explosion of unfettered financial responsibility and reality. You're not taking it anymore from the guys like me and you and the listeners and the business owners. You're literally taking it from the future in the form of debt. I think it's even way more diabolical, and it explains so much of the $30 trillion that was added on since Barack Obama became president. I mean, that is something that I think always has to be hammered home. There's a new way to steal money versus the old Soviet way. If the Soviets could print money the way America does, they would have never went bankrupt. They'd be the biggest superpower. They'd be us because we became them. That's what happened, isn't it?
Yeah, and Shaun, you're absolutely right. It is all this spending is a tax on future generations. It is. We're stealing from kids and grandkids 100%. But the other thing I think is really important for people to remember is the fact that while the debt is a tax on future generations, inflation, which we're using to pay off some of that debt,
permanent tax.
Right, and it's a tax today. It is paid today on today's wage earners, on today's savers.
Yeah.
That is something that it's not going to wait for future generations. We are all paying that penalty right now.
And who could hide behind that financial crime? The best are the very swindlers who tax it. Never forget, it's the Democrats that tax inflation on top of the problem of inflation. It's fracking infuriating.
Yeah.
It's infuriating to realize that it's the swindler Illinois that taxes the inflation, that taxes the excuse of a problem, and then reaps more reward for it, proving beyond the shadow of a doubt Democrats don't hate inflation, they pray for it.
Oh, 100%. It's what finances how much of their spending, right? Not only directly, but also indirectly, like you're talking about. How much of capital gains today? People talk about how great their investments did under Biden. Are you kidding me? How much of your investments, the so-called growth there, was simply inflation? You're going to get taxed on that when you actually cash out. Your capital gains are not indexed to inflation. And then you have states like here in Illinois where your gas tax, not only do you pay that per gallon tax, but because you pay a percentage, every time inflation drives up that cost, it's going to now continue to increase the tax revenue for the government. And that's before we even get into things like property taxes and real estate.
So the way to change it is to grow out of it. This is what Trump, Bessent, this is what they understand. There is one way out of it on top of another way. And it's the other way I think needs to be focused. So you reprivatize the economy, you grow out of it, but you also change the supply chain of the most important commodity in the universe, oil. They've done that. They went back, they took control of the Panama Canal. They took control of the cartel front called Venezuela. They've now crushed the theocracy that has been the distributor, the main theocracy, but along with that, the Middle East in general, and made America the new supplier of the most important product. So we can grow. We can solve that problem, but we also can renegotiate and refinance the debt. Why don't they have the courage to start that? If that has been monetized and you had to make up a buyer, my offer to you is this: nothing in the form of interest. I give you 0% return on money that the Federal Reserve illegitimately, without a vote, created a buyer to then steal 4%, 5%, who knows what percent, because we're not privy to that. They're stealing that percentage on trillions of dollars. It's big money, kid. They'll all be wearing vests with lapels.
So here's the problem now. It's big money, absolutely, but you know it's even bigger money? What the Fed is paying in interest to the banks. That's what you have to. Unfortunately, if you want to set up a system where you're going to essentially have the Fed loan the money to the Treasury and not pay the Fed interest because the Fed's creating the money out of nothing. It took nothing to actually, it took no effort, in other words, to create that money. Okay, that's fine, but first you have to stop the Fed from paying interest to the banks. Right now, they are literally paying hundreds of millions of dollars a day in interest to financial institutions, courtesy of the new system that Jerome Powell set up. So Warsh is going to have to, I think, completely undo that entire monetary framework before we can even start having conversations like that.
Now, we know that the people in the Trump administration are experts in this arena. We know that, at least for now, this administration understands the magnitude of the problem. But you know, living in Washington, D.C., which I like to call Caligula for nerds, how many, and I'm serious when I ask you this, how many of the senators that are elected and the congressmen that are elected could listen to our last segment and understand what we talk about? In a fair estimate, how many of the elected so-called representatives could understand what we were just talking about?
In whole numbers?
Yeah.
You can count
535 elected liars and frauds and suck-ons.
You could count it on one hand, I'm sure.
Isn't that the real issue?
I won't say who, but people can probably guess who it is. Pick one of the most outspoken members you know in Congress on the Federal Reserve who talks about the need for Fed reform, even ending the Fed and other such things.
Is it Aunt Esther? It's Aunt Esther. Maxine Waters. That wig is crooked, stupid.
I don't know if she can spell Fed, let alone Federal Reserve, or know how it operates.
The head of the Finance Committee for 100 years. You got to be fragging.
So I'm at dinner with this particular person in Congress, and I thought for sure this would be the guy who knows the Fed in and out because of how much he talks about it. And then I actually start talking to him about the Fed and realize he doesn't know the first thing about the central bank, how it works, how to reform it, et cetera. And that's when you start to realize
you're talking about Rand Paul. Oh my word, it's even worse, people.
Look, these people are professionals at getting elected first and foremost. And after that, they know what their staff tells them and very little beyond that.
That's disheartening. You know, we were at an event with Rand Paul, Freedom Summit, and I was excited because I had paid attention to his father. And if his father looked like Mitt Romney, we wouldn't be in this fracking problem. If Ron Paul didn't look like Orville Redenbacher on meth, this whole country would be better off. However, he was too ugly to get elected outside of Congress, and he understood it. I feared that Rand didn't. We had a nice conversation, an affable guy. But when we started to talk about the financial crime of paying interest to a fictitious buyer, I could see he wasn't. The magnitude of that is all the money stolen. My allegation is very simple. When the Federal Reserve creates a fake buyer, the Federal Reserve Board, whoever is the upper echelon, whoever makes up those you're stealing the fragging money, and nobody voted for you to create that buyer. That's a financial crime.
And see, this is why during the Civil War, Lincoln fought tooth and nail against the banking cartel that wanted to set up basically a pseudo central bank that would do this, that would lend the government money, create it out of nothing, but then collect interest. And then it would use those government bonds loans and turn around and use it as collateral for loans in the private sector to then charge private borrowers interest. So they literally were getting paid interest on money created out of nothing, but got paid interest twice. And that's basically how the banking system still operates today. And Lincoln fought that tooth and nail. He said there's no reason the government should be paying interest on money that someone literally can just create out of nothing with no effort whatsoever.
And who's the main family in on it all? The Rockefellers. The Rockefellers are the ones that own I don't think it's ever really been disclosed who's the primary holders of the Federal Reserve, the creature from Jekyll Island, except for the fantastic book that was written and the story that was told. However, the family that really is unbelievable when it comes to money loss is the Vanderbilts. The Vanderbilts, people do not realize the money that they squandered through stupidity. And what happened? The grandson has a show on MS-13. Anderson Cooper. No wonder he changed his name, that frickin' moron. Hey, Anderson, what do you think is no sentence any human being should ever speak to anybody who is a legacy of the Vanderbilts? What do you think? Yeah, don't even comment on that. You want to go back to Washington without being arrested. 312-642-5600. We're going to be back. I might have EJ stick around to take some of your calls. We'll be back after this.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer. It's almost time once again for the annual AM 560 Golf Outing, presented by Signature Bank. AM 560 is proud to partner with the Tunnel to Towers Foundation to help them support America's first responder and military heroes, to help America never forget 9/11. This year, our golf outing is happening on Monday, June 15th at McRae Memorial Golf Club in Barrington. When you purchase a foursome to join us, you'll enjoy a full day of golf, meals, an awards reception, and a silent auction. And if you're a business owner, when you purchase a foursome, you'll also receive an AM 560 marketing campaign, which includes 25 one-minute commercials to air on AM 560 Monday through Friday between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. and a free digital marketing analysis. Reserve your foursome today at 560theanswer.com/golf. That's 560theanswer.com/golf. Sponsored in part by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Nolan Webster and by real estate broker Ed Dream at leavingil.com.
Hey, this is Shaun Thompson. You know, most of us spend our entire lives in the paycheck mode. You work, you get 30% taken from the G, you pay your bills, repeat and rinse. And that's how time goes by. Then all of a sudden you're old. Retirement hits. Suddenly, you're the one who has to figure out your paycheck that isn't there anymore. Markets are bumpy, prices are up, things can get stressful real fast. That's why having a real income plan matters. Tom Fortino and the team at Alpha Wealth Group can help you build a strategy to turn your hard-earned savings into a reliable retirement income. They coordinate with your Social Security and your tax planning so you can stop wondering if you're withdrawing the right amount at the right time. Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group have been doing this for 30 years. They can help you by giving you a complimentary retirement roadmap. And all you have to do is call 630-864-6711. That's 630-864-6711. or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
Rick Borick talks about the emotions of stock market investing.
At what point would you rethink your decision that you're invested in the stock market? And you'll notice that someone who answered that question 6 months ago saying, I'm not going to panic until it's down 30%, calls you up on the phone and says, it's down 8, what's going on? And I says, what happened to the 30% guy, right?
Unleash Your Wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
Let Cole Digital turn your outdoor space into the ultimate entertainment setup. With a 75-inch SunBright outdoor TV that can stay out year-round and great sound throughout. Like planter speakers on the patio, high-quality rock speakers that blend right into your landscape, or bronze garden speakers that blend into the environment. Our technicians will dig a hole and install an in-ground subwoofer for incredible bass and the best in sound quality. We also install outdoor rated access points for Wi-Fi coverage throughout your yard, and cameras that let you keep an eye on everything with motion-activated recording. Tour our Cole Digital Design Center, 15,000 square feet of audio, video, and great design ideas. Cole Digital is family-owned by conservatives that share your values, and we're based right in Frankfurt. Visit Cole Digital today and schedule your consultation. ColeDigital.com. That's KOLE digital.com. Or call 815-469-2000, and we'll bring the showroom to you. 815-469-2000. Cole Digital, what smart living is all about.
Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again, not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family-owned with integrity since 1981.
312-642-5600. I took Alex Marlowe's sandwich. E.J. Antoni took Dan Proft's. The pastrami's not bad. We still have tickets if you're near Pingree Grove or at Goebert's Farm. It's filling up nicely for Cigar Night. Look at how I mentioned you were going to stick around, E.J. Antoni, you handsome devil. Look at Mary. She's dying to talk to you. All the ladies love E.J. Antoni. We'll take your calls, 312-642-5600 after news with Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. Some clouds with a low of 52 tonight. In the QC Kinetics newsroom, I'm Mike Scott. President Trump speaking to reporters outside the construction zone for the White House ballroom Tuesday morning, where he discussed the ongoing relations with Iran. The president insists Iranians are begging to agree to a deal.
You know how it is to negotiate with a country where you're beating them badly. They come to the table, they're begging to make a deal, because they're begging to make a deal. I hope we don't have to do the one, but we may have to give them another big hit.
6 states are holding primary elections today for the U.S. House, Senate, and governor's races. A 17-year-old died after being pulled from Lake Michigan waters in Waukegan Monday evening. Waukegan Fire confirmed they responded to a report of a drowning on the lakefront near the Harbor Channel area around 5:30. Charges pending after a suspect was taken into custody in a deadly stabbing incident in the Norwood Park neighborhood Monday night. The news is a service of the Office of Illinois State Treasurer. Find money you didn't even know you had. The Illinois Treasurer's Office holds unclaimed funds and valuables until the owner or their heirs claim them at icash.illinoistreasurer.gov. Your next news is at 7. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. Now with an update from the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jill Urchak.
Southbound I-55, watch out for a crash at US 30. That is blocking the right lane. Outbound Stevenson, 40 minutes to Sabo Lakeshore Drive out to 355. Dan Ryan outbound, that looks pretty good. On the Kennedy, downtown out to O'Hare, 40 minutes, while the Eisenhower out is 50 minutes, post office to 390. Outbound Ryan, 28 minutes to get to 95th. It's still heavy on the outbound Ford, 115th to 159th with road work. It is jammed along DuSable Lakeshore Drive and the Tri-State either way. Jane Addams West is busy, Reagan and 355. Those are also very heavy both directions. This report is a service of the AM 560 store. Order t-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands, including Proft University and The Shaun Thompson Show, when you go to 560theanswer.com/store. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will bring mostly cloudy skies and cooler temperatures with a low of 52. As we move into Wednesday, expect cloudy conditions in the morning, transitioning to a mix of clouds and sunshine in the afternoon, along with breezy winds. It'll be less humid with a high of 58. Wednesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 46. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
When the seasons shift, you need a heating and cooling team you can trust to keep your home just right. That's where Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, the original, comes in. This family-owned gem has been a local favorite for more than 45 years, sending only their own top-notch, highly trained technicians to your door. Whether it's a quick repair, a full installation, or anything in between, their work is unmatched, and their customer service feels like family. Keeping you cozy in the winter and cool in the summer, Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling delivers comfort you can count on. I've known Garrett and his family for years, and they are great friends of AM 560. Dial 847-545-1700 or visit arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. Mention AM 560 and enjoy 20% off your first service call. Again, go to arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, not the biggest, but absolutely the best.
You know what really keeps me up at night? It's the criminals feel more and more bold. They have no fear of any consequences because there are none. So I did what anyone with a family should do. I called Goldilocks. They're not just some cookie-cutter security company. Goldilocks has been protecting Chicagoland homes and businesses for 4 decades, 40 years. And they actually listen. Their technician comes out to the house. He takes a look at what you need to make your house a smart home with a security system you can monitor from anywhere. It's built specifically for me and my family. Motion sensors, smart locks, cameras, monitoring, all customized. I don't trust anybody in Illinois to protect my family. I do it, and I did it by calling Goldilocks. I trust Goldilocks to keep my house, my property, and my family safe. Tell them Shaun Thompson sent you, and Goldilocks will include 3 months free monitoring with any new installation. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Or visit them online at GoldilocksInc.com.
Are you turning 65 and thinking about Medicare? Or are you over 65 and haven't enrolled yet because you still have coverage at work? Either way, Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Imagine having an annual deductible of only $283. There are only 2 good things about aging, wisdom and Medicare. But to navigate the Medicare maze properly, you need a mentor. Best part? My guidance costs you nothing. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Medicare, then you need a local expert on your side, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than a decade. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Old porcelain signs, gas and oil collectibles. Collectors are waiting. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I can't remember nothing, no.
It's my man Squirrel. Friday with a little Pendergrass. We got our own Teddy Pendergrass roaming around here somewhere. He's dying to steal a cigar from me. They're my cigars, and EJ and Tony can have one, and that's it. Now, when we're here to talk about questions, EJ and Tony can answer all the questions, especially when it's about bond losses under the Biden years. Scott, was it bonds? Was it bonds?
No, it was everything that was in my 401k and retirement account. So all you Biden supporters out there, stop lying to me. You're so sick about with your TDS that you're willing to lie for that man. My retirement account dropped $450,000 under the Biden administration, which is now forcing me to work until I'm 75.
Scott from Mundelein, we're going to have you call Tom Fortino because you were in some bad areas to lose. I mean, I'm trying to think what area of the market he was in. He must have had
mostly in the S&P.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to hook you up with somebody good because you shouldn't have lost that unless you had Groucho from Sesame Street managing the money. But who knows? Scott, in the meantime, thanks for calling. And you can here, money's just dirty paper. You can always make it back. Success is the one thing they can never take from us. Thank you for the call. Tom in Blue Island. This better not be an investment opportunity about the one-armed poker machines where you keep throwing your paycheck in, you stubborn son of a dog.
It is not, Shaun. Dittos.
Yeah, those games are so crooked, the guys who own them moved out of state.
That's only
making too much money.
Once you get a few too many beers in you, you got to have a little
Schlitz starts telling you where to invest your money. Schlitz also starts telling you which girls you should hit on. That ends well.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
That never ends well. So, Shaun and EJ, Shaun, I've heard you enough times talk about how our dollar has 4% of the value left that it once had. Now, to Shaun's wife's comment there, I'm going to tell you, if I'm at the track or I'm at the casino and I got $40 left out of $1,000, I'm screwed. So how are we not screwed? And I get tired of hearing Steve Moore say everything's going to be great, everything's going to be great.
So how are we not screwed? Because the dollar, since it's been taken off the gold standard, has roughly 3%. I would say 2% than it did back then. And you're asking how come we're not already bankrupt? And I know my answer, but I do not have a doctor in front of my name. EJ and Tony.
Right, Shaun. If 97% of the value is gone,
all right, he's going to answer you.
Not gone then too.
He's going to answer you.
Because this is the power. This is the power of the private sector. This is the power of free markets and free enterprise. It's the fact that we have generated so much wealth. Now, the fact is the government has confiscated a lot of that over the last 113 years. Correct. But the fact remains that it's a testament, I think, to the private sector's ability to generate wealth despite all of that. That we do have a higher standard of living today, and despite the massive increase in the cost of living, we are better off.
Well, and we're the world currency. Without that position of the world currency in which all other currencies have to fund their value of their asset, we would be the Weimar Republic. The difference, as I see it, the difference between us and the Weimar Republic is it didn't matter what the British pound had to do when it came to the Weimar economic problems, but it certainly matters when it comes to us, which is why all of those unattractive experts like Manhands Yellen would say it's transitory and we're the best out of the worst, we're the cleanest dirty shirt. She knew that we were able to pass on our financial malfeasance because we made the other countries go just as bad. And it was the private sector that could still, even with the falling value of the dollar, deliver whatever commodity or service to be in conjunction with the loss and the rate of loss. Even though inflation is a portion of it, it's not 97%. And it's only because we were the top dog that we could do that. And if you disagreed with us, we killed you. Yeah. Which I'm, hey,
well,
hey, does it keep my door locked? I'm all right. No, go ahead.
Literally the entirety of the post-war period, right? We have been exporting deficits.
Correct.
This is part of the reason why we have a perpetual trade deficit. Normally you send all this money overseas, and what happens? It has to come back, except that other nations are literally choosing to just keep those dollars in reserve instead of sending them back here to buy products and buy services from the United States.
Yes.
If you're going to be the reserve currency of the world, you are stuck with perpetual trade deficits. It happened to Britain before the gold standard collapsed, and it has happened to us for the entirety of the post-war period.
And think about how ridiculous and self-loathing it was and self-defeatism it was to allow the Sherman Antitrust Act to change us being the producer of the most important commodity in the universe. It was our own government that offshored oil production, distribution, and allocation. Without the Sherman Antitrust Act, the Middle East would still be dusting camels off, selling us those things with 3 humps. It's because of our own government, we chased American ingenuity of taking that and making that product what it is, the convenience of everything, into the Middle East. Without that one move, we don't have a financial problem at all. What do you think about that as an old oil trader, which we all are?
Well, it's yet another example of how I don't think there's a single example, honestly, Shaun, since the Sherman Antitrust Act was made law. I don't think there's a single example of it actually being applied fairly.
No.
Every time it's ever been applied, it was one political group using it to punish their enemies, and that's it.
Oh, it's all it ever was. And look at these rat bastards talking about Trump making Spirit go bankrupt when the Biden administration single-handedly destroyed an airline because it wasn't in on the scheme the way United was. I won't fly United. I'm driving back. Won't fly those rat bastards. Take your transvestite CEO and kiss my ass. Dan, Northside.
Yeah, hi, Shaun. Yeah, great show, man. Love your show.
Thank you, brother.
I follow all the shows. CPT.
Mine's the only one that matters, Stan. Let the winner breathe. Stop with the lead.
You're the best.
Go ahead. Thank you.
So I just want to say that, your concept or your idea when you were talking about Congress, House Representatives, so forth, everybody in Washington, so forth, especially the Senate, needs to understand what we're doing, what we're thinking about, so forth. And how do we get through to them? How can we contact them and get through to them as being people that can understand what we're thinking about people?
Well, Dan, you have to understand this, in my opinion, EJ, you correct me if I'm wrong. This is the problem with kids who aren't incentivized to understand what the real power of money and self-interest is. This is something that the education system took a hard left after World War II. And do you like old movies, Dan?
Uh-huh.
There's a movie called The Stranger with Orson Welles where he plays a Nazi that wanted to hide after World War II. And you know where he hid, Dan? He hid as a college professor. And you know what he did? He was telling the truth. That's where all these fracking Nazis went and hid, Dan. What do you think?
You get a Mamdani because nobody knows who to vote for, because nobody knows what these policies are actually going to do, right?
Yeah.
Going back to what we said earlier, the very people who created the problem are now selling you a solution, quote unquote, that's only going to make it worse, and the people don't know any better because they've been taught not to know any better.
I say we Ragnar Northbrook them and give them the Vikings. We start all over again. I'll lead the ship. Thank you, Dan, for the call. I'm going to go to Bob. Glen Ellen has been holding. How are you, Bob?
Yeah, okay, Shaun. You know what really started this was 50 years ago or so when they started outsourcing all the manufacturing. You know, right where I lived in southeast DuPage County, Darien, Downers.
So,
you know
what's interesting, Bob?
Minutes, you had Electromotive, Fisher Body, International Harvester.
Yeah, but you said something that's interesting to me. They offshored it. They didn't offshore it directly. They regulated it and taxed it to where it was no longer advantageous to be in those neighborhoods. And when you say they, Bob, let's be explicit. It wasn't Washington, D.C. It was the morons. Oh, yeah, but it was the morons in Illinois that really took advantage. And they get to hide under the skirt of Washington. We'll pick up with that question when we get back.
Marxists, socialists, and communists are not welcome on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic, could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did, they gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-575-8924. 800-575-8924. That's 800-575-8924.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
When I was feeling the stress of too much credit card debt, I looked at two different options: debt settlement and debt management. They may sound the same, but guess what? They're not. Debt settlement seemed like a quick fix, but I found out it would destroy my credit, create tax headaches, and hit me with huge fees. They actually told me to stop paying my bills. No way, not me. Then I turned to a debt management plan developed by the team at Trinity. They worked with my creditors, lowered my payments, reduced my interest, saved me thousands, and paid off my debt. And Trinity is a Christian company, which is important to me.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-990-6976.
AM 560, The Answer.
A story so bad to Stephen A. Leahy. A fight back now. You got IRS problems, you call Stephen A. Leahy. He just dresses peculiar, but he's wicked smart. He thinks he's E.J. Antoni, but he's really from 1940s Johnny Dollar. Talking to my lawyer, my real lawyer, not 380 pounds of free legal advice. He just tells me to call Longo. But Calcagno and Associates can't make it. So we have reinforced stool out there that's a love seat that we make them feel as a chair. So if you're a little big and broad in the hips, you come out here, we got a chair for you. We still have tickets, Goebert's Farm and Pingree Grove. Now, EJ, it's a very interesting blame shift that happens when it comes to manufacturing, and they outsourced it. Manufacturing being outsourced, and the idea that you created an entire new industry of import-export and still financially advantageous to do so, isn't the fault of other countries. It isn't the fault as much as people want to blame China. It isn't the fault of China. China would not exist if it wasn't for American politicians who destroyed the idea and the incentive to produce right here in this country. It was the totalitarian politician who destroyed manufacturing, and no grand scheme other than the greed of American politicians to destroy employment, isn't it?
That's absolutely right, Shaun. If you look at, for example, China did not create the regulatory state in this country.
Oh.
China did not impose $50,000 on average in regulatory costs for the typical manufacturing employee. China didn't do that. That was Washington. That was also Springfield, though. And this is where, and I think getting to your point, where you can't just blame Washington for all of it. Why is it you are seeing factories built in this country, but they're being built in Alabama, they're being built in Texas, in Tennessee, in Florida? Those are the places where manufacturing is coming back, because again, it's not just a matter of federal regulations, it's also state by state, and the blue states have been way worse than any of the red states.
That's why Trump is a third party, whether he admits it or not. He is the American principal party. And when you see $18 trillion committed to come back on shore, not one fracking dollar of that money is going to a Democrat area. There's no argument, dummy. You want a private economy? You want to see an economy boom? You cannot live under Democrats. If you want to be in on the scam, and you got a guy, or you're a half-ass mobbed-up gangster who can get a contract and shake down government spending, congratulations, you're a Democrat. If you want to be free, you are not. It's that fracking simple. It explains everything about Illinois and New York and California and Washington. And the real problem, EJ, is they've been sucking on, no insult to Kamala Harris, they've been sucking on to our success ever since. And it's through our corporations not understanding. Cut them off now. Amazon should stop delivering, stop manufacturing, stop even resourcing to Illinois and all these other Democrat areas, shouldn't they?
Well, aren't they starting to do it anyway?
Absolutely. Congratulations, Democrats. How do you like winning, you fracking morons?
I know. I understand the sentiment. I know you want to, it's the makers versus the takers, right? And you want to cut them off. I get it. You want it to be the capitalists, and the non-capitalists can go fail on their own. And I would love to see that accelerate, but it is nice to see it's happening anyway.
Absolutely. I want to see Bezos right out at the Amazon distribution center in my old neighborhood with a bulldozer knocking it down himself. If you're near the area and you're on your way, I can't wait to see you. The smoker is taking off. Alex Marlowe is really going to be pissed when he knows I ate his food. You can handle Proft. He's not. He's going to hit you like a little girl. We'll be back in 21 hours.
It's almost time once again for the annual